All right, guys, come on in. We got update. Possible huge break in the case. Rushing down some food. We got JLR. We got possible DNA match. We're gonna show. We got a lot going on, guys. I'm gonna read some stuff here. Everybody, bear with me. We got a breaking news on the match of a DNA and possible SWAT. JLR, SWAT, their possible location. Do they have the suspect in custody or do they have the location? Come on in. Rushing home, guys. I'm gonna read what I got here. I'm gonna read. Come on, internet. Welcome in, guys. Hold on, I'll acknowledge everybody in a second. This is big. We got breaking news, guys. Hold on. I want to see if this is true. I think it is. We got a break in the case, folks, on Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Come on in. Share the video. Spread this video, guys. Spread this video. 13 minutes ago. Hold on. NBC, Savannah Gultry. Everything's going to NBC, guys. Help the channel, like the video, guys, and get it out there. We appreciate it. We really do. Hold on. Nancy Gultry. Live updates. SWAT is on the way. Sheriff is on the way to a location. Hold on. I'm going to show you what's going on here.
It's around this other side of the mountain.
About 13 minutes ago, guys. What do we know about Nancy Gultry? Of course, there's a commercial. Woo! We got some stuff going on, guys. Welcome in. It's nice to be here. I'm rushing, guys. I skipped. Shoot. I can't bypass the ads, guys. So just hold tight. JLR is on location. I'm trying to get as many feeds as I can. I want to read this to you guys. Tell you what I'll do. I'll switch the screen. I'll read you guys so you guys can see what's going on. You don't need to see me at all.
I can't believe they haven't done it yet, though. Also, look at the left. I'm looking to the left lane to see if
I'm going to read you guys. We're going to lower the voice of JLR. If my moderators can just help out, come on in. We got updated possible. Let me just say this, folks. A possible DNA. Okay, I'm going to read here. The sheriff said, Nancy, I got so many details coming out. I don't know what to believe. One of my FBI friends says they have a location but no suspect. So just bear with me, guys. Sheriff has said Nancy Gultry does not have. Hold on. Let me make sure this is real. I don't want to read something that's not real. All I'm seeing is this, guys. Here's what I'm seeing right now. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. This is a new update. I'm getting calls. He's calling me. I can't get the call. I lose the live. I don't know what to do. Oh, shoot. Hold on, guys. Nancy Gultry live update. FBI double the rewards. We know about that. Hold on. That's something else.
3 miles.
What the hell? Hold on, guys.
Got 5G, got blazing 5G, reception.
Okay,
Sports bar?
Sports Park.
Is that the address that you put in?
No, just head to that one, and
I'm here with you guys. I'm just not looking at the camera right now. I'm typing away here. Yeah, there's multiple address.
almost there. If nothing's there, we'll get the next one. Address is coming in.
We're almost there.
A couple people just sent me new addresses. We'll check as soon as we stop.
Yeah, I don't want to read the reports. I'm getting different reports, and I just don't want to. FBI describes Nancy Gultry's case suspect backpack as sheriff asks local for videos. All right, so what I'm reading, guys, is I guess they've gotten back the DNA. Remember that DNA that went to Florida? And I guess the DNA from the 2 gloves, and they got a possible. I don't want to get everybody hopes up. So this is JLR investigates. He's anxious to get there. We're all anxious to come to some kind of conclusion in this, or at least get that last piece of puzzle pretty much there. But they're driving to a location. I'm hearing that the location could be a broken down warehouse.
We're in Oro Valley now, I think.
Let me pin that real quick, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Appreciate that.
To the right, Rear is to the right.
Okay, so let me just turn the camera real quick, guys. I'm trying to read okay, couple different things. This is their JLR. They're driving. They're really close to a location where they feel that SWAT might be. Possible suspect's location. Whether he is there or not, we don't know. Who's that suspect? That 5'9" to 5'10", medium average build. I'm also hearing that that the Ozark bag. They are now confident it was at Walmart. Remember the Walmart, Target, Amazon? It was purchased at Walmart. They are working with their security team at Walmart to now get it down to almost 50 Ozarks that were purchased around that time frame of this kidnapping. So maybe they put both puzzles together. When I say both puzzles, maybe they now have the Ozark bag where it was purchased, what Walmart. So maybe they got that now, and that leads them to that location. Also, we're hearing that the DNA has officially come back. So all I'm hearing is a DNA, a possible DNA match.
While I was talking to the sheriff, I asked him about that too. Here it is.
I'm going to get the news on.
Mobile command center.
I'm going to get the news on for you guys.
Is not in its usual spot.
Let's go with the news here. He's a couple minutes away.
Things going on out there. It would be very inappropriate for me to talk about those things. It's an officer safety issue, those kinds of things, right?
I don't know.
Right, that was Nanos. The media was there down at the sheriff's station.
I don't think the national. I find this hard to believe that I'm looking at all the news, Fox, CNN, News. Nobody. They're all on a special assignment or something. If this is true, maybe they just don't think it's true. But
Oh, wow.
here, turn the camera around. I got to fix everything in here, guys. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. Moderators, thank you. I was prepared to come on live in about an hour from now. I was watching JLR, and then right before I turned that on, actually, as soon as I turned it on, he was wrapping up something, and my buddy said, "Sal, you might want to go live." I go, "Why?" He said, "I think they have a suspect." I'm like, "Whoa. A suspect?" He goes, "I think so." And then there was no text, so I went into Smith's. I had to get some Valentine stuff, this, that, whatever. You guys don't care about that. I said, okay, well, I'll do a live in an hour. And then I turn on JLR, and he's got a guy named Nick in there who's familiar with this area. So they got a tip. They got a tip that there was a possible SWAT team about 26 miles away. I forget what city. If anybody's been keeping up with it, what city are they going to, Heavy Hook? Did you hear? Anyhow, about 26 miles from where they were in Tucson, in front of Nancy Galtry's house. And now here we are. And I did hear about that, Janine. I did hear about that third email.
1.8 miles.
I did hear about that third email from TMZ. You guys can fill me in. I've been pretty much, working all day and, of course, helping out homeless people and in meetings. So I don't know much today. All I know is from yesterday, and what I just heard from that backpack, that Ozark backpack. I heard that from Fox. So they were pretty confident it came from a Walmart. So here we are. Didn't hear the city. Yeah, whatever the case are, they got to be a few minutes away. They're a few minutes away. And I'm going to turn on the news outlets here. I've turned every news outlet and nobody's talking about anything. So what we'll do is we'll watch. Texas Proud 76, welcome in. Appreciate your membership once again. Thank you guys for being here. I'm trying to keep you guys updated, and hopefully this could be it. Friday the 13th, Valentine's Day tomorrow. Hopefully they can find more information leading to Nancy Guthrie, as they got a. We're watching JLR investigates. He is getting very close to a location that is possibility. Oh, shoot. Can't show the ads.
Workers' compensation is such a nightmare.
Can't show the ads.
That's right. Workers' comp is workers' comp.
All right, so I'm going to go kind of back and forth with this. As soon as he's there, we'll turn the camera around. Hello, guys. I don't want to get everybody's hopes up. We're all praying for Nancy Guthrie, whereabouts, possible DNA match. I'm only going to what I'm hearing from my source and JLR. No news are talking about it. But I will share some new information. The only new information today is, that clearer picture, that clearer photo that was from Google.
Looked like Arizona State Trooper.
I made it as clear as I possibly can. A lot of people are responding while we're waiting to see where this location is. There could be Latinized. We know it's a male. I made it very clear. So I posted that, and thank you for all those comments on the post. And so right now we know the backpack now was indeed purchased now from Walmart, and they have their security team in Walmart working very hard on this hour. And for receipts, credit card and anything that can lead to help an investigation. Now, in between all that, within the last 25 minutes ago, JLR, who's been on boots on ground, he got a tip from his guy, I think it's Nick, who's in the car with him. He knows the area pretty good. That was a pretty good pick. Yeah, that was pretty clear. That gave me the chills, because when I looked at that, I'm responding to Heavy Hook. That pick there can almost 100% it's a male. We know it's a male based on what they said. That tells you it's a male by those eyes. As far as a Latin, I can't make the difference between a Latino or an Italian or that kind of stuff. But in any event, that photo did help us now on the thumbnail kind of give us a little better indication.
You're there. We got it.
Here we go. What we got? Oh, shit, my battery. Gotta get my battery.
There. Yeah. Here. SWAT here.
SWAT's here, but my battery's... I'm working, guys. I'm working here. Hold on.
I don't know if it's related or not. I mean,
let's see.
It seems odd to be
you
standing
got the
outside.
fire truck there and everything like that.
We don't know if it's related, guys.
Just go park over here maybe.
Let's see what we got. Maybe a big break.
Parking spot. There's an apartment complex.
That's a cop.
I got the battery taken care of. I got the charge. I got that going.
They're coming out the right here, so you might want to turn around.
There's another one.
I got to get water.
So we're gonna go right here.
Hold on, guys. I can't hold I got the phone on the tripod because I got my This is crazy, guys.
So there's another one. You got state troopers and everything going on. Look. So something is going on in the.
I can't use my iPad because my iPad's here.
Yeah, it's going in too.
Or my what we got? Come on, give us some information, JLR. SWAT team. Is it?
Let's see, he's going the other way.
I don't know. I mean, could this be a separate incident?
That's the police station.
Or is this connected?
That's the aquatic.
Is this connected?
Stage in there, then.
I don't know.
If
We
it's
could
even
probably go in there. Because that just is a health club. We're in a health club. We could probably get closer.
it's just no. I think it's better here.
Okay. There's another one coming out.
Oh crap! There's more of them coming.
Get the volume, guys. I'm sorry.
Substation might be over there.
I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit
Let's just
higher.
kind of wait here and just in the distance and see. There's another one pulling in. Nope. Yeah, but there's a lot of law enforcement around.
Yeah, but no news. Where's Fox? Where's
The only
CNN?
thing is, it is shift change for 5 o'clock starting, so they might be.
No national news.
These guys are getting ready for something. I mean,
There's a fire truck though. Sometimes it like.
they gotta have the fire truck on big warrants.
Do they?
like that. Well, yeah, if something, I mean, yeah, a lot of people, they'll start the house on fire.
Is that our connect?
No, people are just seeing coming on live. And the one guy right there, he was a local.
Hi.
Oh,
Oh, Cavalcante, another manhunt.
I know, I got so excited.
What's your name?
I've been watching you.
What's your name?
Sharon Robbins.
Hi, Sharon.
Nice to meet you.
This
my
is
husband-
857.
I just told my husband, I said, I have to go help him because.
Well, I don't need any help. I'm good.
No, I mean, you, the address that was on here, you were not, you should have gotten up that I was out.
Oh,
So I just live on the other side of Latin Farm.
Heavy Hook, thank you for the gifted membership. Congratulations.
Okay, this is the police station.
But
right
what
here.
is that?
To Bath.
So,
Why do you think they're there? Do you ever see anybody there like that?
not really.
It seems a little
There's a
odd.
fire. There is some
Oh, where's
there
this-
is
Thank you so
actual
much, thank you.
Miranda Hope.
Well, they might be waiting to come in, you know what I mean, when they get the final call.
But I thought, okay, well, do I have to
Keep
go
listening to
this
this
one? What-
scanner.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because the address that you just put on, I went to maps and I looked it up.
All right, so they're talking right there, so I don't want
This could be related.
to have any problems with the YouTube. It sounds like to me that
This is over on.
she recognized JLR.
That was
She thinks it's a
the
separate
next address that we were going. No, that was the
situation.
next
What we
address.
have is SWAT,
We did have someone that was going to them. I don't know. if-
SWAT on a location, and I heard from an FBI friend of mine that indeed they had a DNA match. DNA match. Now, is this connected now
Is the scanner still up?
with Nancy Guthrie kidnapping?
Yeah, the house.
I don't know. I would assume NBC would have been there before anybody because the Savannah worked for NBC. Now, I don't see anything on the news. I don't see anything on Fox. I don't see anything on
Yeah,
CNN.
there's a group of them.
Yeah,
But nonetheless,
that's what it is.
there's a fire truck.
Hey, take a picture.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna go.
They're waiting on a warrant. That's what.
They're waiting on a warrant.
They're waiting on a warrant.
Since this is such a big operation, they're gonna have every single agency, and if it's
Yeah, Heavy Hook, he donated a membership. So, shout out to Heavy Hook for helping out the channel.
What am I listening to?
They got someone. Somebody said.
Dude, there's like lots of law enforcement over there. I don't know what it's about.
I mean, it is a Friday, guys. So I don't want to read.
They're dressed in like black. There's a group of them. See?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I've never. This is odd.
This is odd, man.
I mean, why would they be just in?
Do you think this is connected to the scanner?
I think if it is in a Marana address, it could be. I mean, why would they be all out here?
I
waiting?
took this picture. Right here. Oh, they got blue gloves on. What do you think, folks?
Oh,
Oh, what do you think? But they're not shielded up. Like if it was a SWAT operation. We need that scanner.
I have a scanner. I guess, guys, I just can't. By the time I get it charged and everything, let me. Let's. They got something going on here. We'll just keep it right here.
That car's over there, just parked. Is that a bus station next to that car?
Yeah, it looks like there's people.
All right, just bring everybody up to date real quick, guys. People are getting done work on this Friday. Happy Friday, Friday the 13th,
Looks like
day before Valentine's Day. What do we got? What do we got here? What do we got cooking is JLR, who investigates. He got a tip.
In this life of mass coming
Good. I want to talk.
That's the hardest thing.
I can't show the ads of his ads. That could be trouble. So it's nothing I can do, guys. I cannot. Nothing's happening at the moment. So what do we have here, real quick? He got a tip from a guy working for him, a guy named Nick who lives in that area. And as I'm reading my message, guys, so when I stop talking, I'm looking at my phone with messages just to give you guys a little communication what's going on. And because I have a friend here on location, he's a good friend of mine, works for the FBI in Las Vegas. So JLR went on this tip. They drove about 26 miles away, 25 miles away. And he got there, and that's where we're at. Now, in between all that, DNA from my source said the DNA has now it came back. Now, as far as the DNA goes, they think, or my source says they think they have a match. Doesn't mean this location is where the suspect is, and they even said it. But this could be a whole separate. It is Friday in Tucson, or I don't know what city this is. 26 miles from Tucson. Friday night, people getting done work. There's always some kind of incident. But according to JLR and this guy Nick, there's SWAT there, fire truck there, and that's where we are at. In between all that, real quickly, if I could, the backpack, the Ozark backpack. Remember they said Walmart, and then there was reports that it could have been from Target and Big Five and this kind of stuff. Now they say they had a location of the Walmart. They didn't give, I didn't hear the exact location, and they're working with the security team from this local Walmart on any what do we got here? Hold on. What's he showing us here? Who's this guy? Whoa, wait a minute.
But it's like, they don't look like SWAT over there.
And there's a big old thing rolling up now.
Is that him?
It's just rolling.
In the fire truck.
Is that him?
I think we need to find where the SWAT went. I don't think this is related.
This is the address I keep seeing in the chat.
Yeah, if people are.
180.
I don't think it's related either.
Yeah, that's the DE address.
Okay, so you need to go back out to I-10.
They might have the wrong address.
I'm gonna go over there and just see if there's anything going on. I'm not gonna go to his house, but I'm gonna go nearby.
Put that map in, and you just get off. I would get off at Twin Peaks, and then you go up to
I'm gonna check the dudes.
Silverbell, and you'll go right, and it's Rattlesnake Pass. You go over the hill and down, and the
They're
whole
saying-
subdivision's on the right.
Dominic Evan. DE.
Who, people over there?
No, that's the address that people are saying in the chats. So we don't, there's so many flowing.
So it's
Are you
16 minutes.
857?
What's that? 8572?
Okay, I've been
Hey,
watching.
I can avoid that.
Oh, I got news covers, guys. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
The back way where are we here?
So I went too far.
Hold on, guys.
We've seen some big moments so far when the surveillance video was released, for example, but I think this is another one of those really, really big moments because this could really lead to something.
Brian Henson will be on air here on News Nation all evening long. Jesse Weber, we'll see you live tonight, later, 11 o'clock Eastern, Jesse Weber live. Our coverage continues here on News Nation throughout the evening. I thank you for being with us. I'm Blake Berman. I hand it over to Elizabeth Vargas, who takes it from here.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Vargas, and we are following this breaking news that is happening right now in Arizona. The Pima County Sheriff's Office has activated its SWAT team and mobile command unit. This all comes as the desperate search for Nancy Guthrie is closing in on 2 weeks. And in that time, police still have no sign of the 84-year-old grandmother as scrutiny grows over the investigation. Just moments ago, I spoke with Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos. He strongly pushed back on reports that he's withholding key DNA evidence from the FBI. The sheriff also confirming to me that there is DNA that has been found at Nancy's house that does not match anyone in the family or in her close circle of friends and acquaintances.
Okay.
He also discussed new video police now have, several gloves that investigators have recovered, and whether anyone has been ruled out as a suspect. We'll bring you that interview in just a moment. Remember, Nancy Guthrie's family reported her missing 12 days ago at around noon on February 1st. Investigators got their first major break in the case.
Why don't they put this in color?
When the FBI recovered surveillance video from Nancy Guthrie's front door camera. And just last night, before our show went to air, the FBI released identifying details about that masked suspect. He's a man, average build, they say, around 5'9", 5'10", and he's also wearing a 25-liter Ozark hiking trail backpack in that video. This afternoon, TMZ reported it received yet another email from a man claiming to know who the kidnapper is.
That's that email that Janine was alluding
Again,
about.
after the FBI doubled its reward to $100,000 late yesterday. This man who's emailing TMZ initially wanted 1 Bitcoin for his information, worth about $68,000. Now he's asking for more. 2 payments, $50,000 in Bitcoin now,
Whoa.
and $50,000 when the kidnappers are arrested.
Whoa.
And he
More
is
bizarre.
hinting there is more than 1 kidnapper involved. In just a few minutes, I'll speak live with TMZ's co-executive producer about this new note, but let's kick things off tonight with News Nation's Brian Enton, live for us on the ground.
Can you guys hear this, or
Tucson.
I can switch it to the
Brian,
big
you have been
screen?
moving along with the SWAT team from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. They are on the move. What are you hearing at this hour?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out exactly what's going on, Elizabeth. We know that a mobile command unit moved out of the sheriff's office. We know that the SWAT team moved out, and it appears based on what we're seeing right now, and I'm not going to say where we are, or I don't want to give too many details. Obviously, we would never want to do anything to interfere with the investigation, but it seems like they are staging right now, which would be pretty typical. We've seen them do this before, where they will go to a location and they will stage just in case they get the call. A call similar to what we saw the other night, remember, near the Mexico border when the man named Carlos was detained. They were staging for that situation too. So is it possible this means that there could be something coming tonight? It's possible. At this point, we just don't know, Elizabeth.
Brian Enton, keep us updated. If there's any movement out there, we'll come right back to you. Let's bring in TMZ co-executive producer Charles Ladebaudiere now. Charles has been on several times as you've gotten these emails from a person claiming to know something. So what did this latest email say?
Yeah, you know, Elizabeth, this latest email is interesting because the guy...
He left the scene?
If he has information, it seems like he's looking to make a deal now with authorities. And it's all based on the fact that he, like the rest of the country, has observed that the FBI has doubled the reward from $50,000 to $100,000. He seems to think that they did that to discredit him because he was only asking for 1 Bitcoin, which is about $66,000. So he's saying now it's very clear that you, law enforcement, don't trust me. You don't believe that I have the information because you haven't given me the Bitcoin yet. And I don't trust you, he's saying, because I need to protect my anonymity because he fears retribution from someone, I would presume the kidnapper, if he gives up this information. So now the deal that he's offering is... he wants the full $100,000. He said, forget about 1 Bitcoin. I want that $100,000 reward that you're offering, and here's how we can do it in a way that we can have some trust. I want that $100,000 reward that you're offering, and here's how we can do it in a way that we can have some trust. He's asking for $50,000 now in Bitcoin, deposited into his Bitcoin account, and he will leave it there, he says, until an arrest is made. Once an arrest is made from the information that he gives them, so the order of operations here, you put in $50,000, I'll give you the information. Once you make an arrest with that information, then you put in the other $50,000, and only at that point would he take the money out, and that is the way he thinks that this should all play out. He says, look, I know I said the last time would be the last time you hear from me. This is it. He says, in fact, it says 3 strikes and you're out. So
3
this is
strikes and you're out?
Yes.
And this is
that's
his
what
third
he says.
email.
Yes, and this is his third email. He's basically saying to the police, I've contacted you now 3 times through by emailing us.
I'm here, guys. I'm
This will be
trying to
the
get a
last
scanner
time.
together.
If you don't give me the money this time, then you're never gonna. What he's insinuating is you'll never hear from me, and therefore I'm never going to give you the information you need to solve this case.
And apparently he also refers to the current state of Nancy Guthrie. What does he say?
He does, and again, we had shared this this email, the full contents of it, and I'm not quoting directly here, but we've shared it with the FBI. There are things that we're not at liberty to say right now, but except to say that he does make a
Something's
reference
going
to
on,
their
guys.
current
I can
status.
tell you this. Something is going on.
Say more than that.
I'm just telling
I
you,
can't
something's
say
going on.
what they've described here, just out of respect for the FBI and the ongoing investigation.
And the reason this person isn't calling the FBI tip line to collect the $100,000 is what?
He says it's about his. There are 3 things: his safety, his name, and possibly his freedom. He basically says, "I'm not going to get out there publicly in order to get your $100,000 reward. This is the way it has to be done because I have to protect my anonymity." He's clearly worried about retribution from the kidnapper, right? If he gives up the information, but he also this part where he says possibly my freedom. I think that's a reference to, look, if I go and talk to the police, the FBI, they're going to ask me a bunch of questions. They may think that I'm somehow involved in the kidnapping, and therefore I'm going to be arrested. We remember in the second note, he said that he didn't want to end up like Carlos, who Brian was just referring to, the delivery guy who was detained the other night and then released. So he doesn't want to end up like that. And then the other thing, Elizabeth, that is really interesting is that he says, I will give you the name of the main individual, meaning that
There's more
insinuating
than one.
right, that there are accomplices here. It doesn't make.
You are listening to TMZ, guys. News
Accomplices,
from
but the fact that he said the main
that third
individual
email.
certainly hints at several people being involved here.
I have to ask, Charles, first of all, this came in the same way the first 2 came in, and the same way the ransom note came in, which is through your anonymous tip line, yes?
Right, yes.
And do you have the capacity, can you communicate back to people who reach out via this tip line?
Great question.
We can if they include in their email an actual email, and an actual phone number,
But
and
this
several
person has
times
not.
people do. This person has used a different name every time, slightly different change in the name, and always a different made-up email. So there's no way to contact them. There's no phone number either. So they clearly don't want us to contact them. They don't want the police to contact them. And that is, the standoff that we're all in right now.
So all 4 notes that you have received on your tip line, the first ransom note and the 3 tip notes that
Yes.
basically say, I'll give you information if you give me money, are all from different emails, are all with different names assigned to them.
Yes, different. And the way we know that all of
Can
these,
I use your phone?
the
Can I use
ones
your phone?
asking for saying that
Because
they have
he's
information
calling me. I got to get
are this
information
the
on
same
this.
person is because it has the same
Just,
Bitcoin
I need to use your
address
phone. The
in
text.
it,
The text.
in
The
all 3
text.
of them.
Let me
So,
text.
But not the
It's the same
ransom note.
person.
That
He's
was
saying that the
different
DNA.
Ransom
They're
note
saying
is
the
a different
DNA is not a
Bitcoin
match.
address, yes.
They're
Does it
saying
sound like
DNA.
the last 3 you've gotten are written by a different person than the ransom
No.
note?
Sounds like exactly the same person.
Folks,
And they're
I'm hearing.
referring to the
Folks,
previous
I'm
email.
hearing from my
So-
source that there's a match in the DNA. Somebody just told me, of course I can't give a name out, that there's a match in the DNA. And we just heard from Newsmax that there is no match. That the blood inside the house that they came back from Florida lab was not a match. This is getting crazier.
Concerned. You deal with a lot of people that we're all getting punked in all this. That it's some sicko who's not only demanding money
Yeah.
for information, but getting kicks out of seeing his ransom notes read on TV.
Yeah, I think there is a possibility of that, and I would have to say that the FBI thinks there's a possibility of that because we've been monitoring it, and to this point, they have not deposited a single penny in that account. So, I think that is definitely a concern that they have that this is someone who's flunking. I got to tell you something that's interesting. Since we published this story, we've been getting a bunch of emails from people, just random citizens, saying that they are volunteering to pay the money and that they can't figure out why the FBI won't pay the money. They're basically all saying, like, pay this guy and let's get the information. Let's get Nancy Guthrie home safely. It's not that simple. I get that people out there are generous and that they're willing to put their money up to try and solve this, but the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department have reasons that they are approaching this differently.
Yeah, Charles Laudabaudiere, thank you so much for joining us at this point. Wow, you've been on a lot to talk about all the many different incredibly bizarre and disturbing emails and notes you are getting. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right. Obviously, this note is something law enforcement are taking seriously, but there's also big news about DNA, unknown DNA.
Unknown DNA, hold on.
In Nancy Guthrie's home. Moments ago, I spoke with Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos about it. Sheriff Nanos, I want to first talk to you about the DNA that you are testing. You have unknown DNA that you have found, DNA that does not match anybody in the Guthrie family, does not match anybody working for Nancy Guthrie inside her home. This sounds like this could be a significant lead.
Well, we found DNA and we eliminated some people, yes. And yes, it's significant when we find somebody that certainly matches that for sure. But right now, there's a lot of significant leads we're working. I think that video was very key to us, and we're tracking down some things there too. So we as of what's today? It's Friday. So as of Wednesday, we had over 18,000 leads here. The FBI had some 15,000 leads there. We put that video out, and in less than a couple hours, we had almost another 5,000 leads.
Wow.
We're probably close to 50,000 today. But we want those leads. We need those leads. We need people to keep calling us and sending us things, and because that's what's going to solve this case.
Presumably, you've run that DNA against CODIS, which is the database for people who've been convicted of crimes and did not find a match.
I don't know where they're at, but correct. We have no match. I don't know how. There's a lot of work to do with DNA and splitting it and mixtures and different things, way above my grade. I just allow my team. They deal with this stuff all the time. They're the experts, the FBI as well, and we let them come to us and tell us what it is they need, and we help them with that.
Did you find this DNA inside the house or outside the house?
I can't go there. I'm sorry.
But it was near the house. I mean, it wasn't, at some random place 2 miles away.
It was, well, the DNA we worked with was the DNA from that house the morning we went out and processed that crime scene.
You, obviously, this door cam video was a huge, significant breakthrough for you. Are you also working on retrieving video from the Nest cameras that were inside Nancy Guthrie's home or perhaps in other places on her property?
Yeah, I won't say where they were located, but I will say this. Yes, we have several cameras that we took and gave. That's part of the story was the sheriff's holding back from the FBI or black. That's furthest from the truth. I don't know where that comes from. We came in that morning on Sunday or Monday morning, I guess it is now, took our evidence. My team says we're going to send ours to the lab. It's a lab we use. They're in Florida now, but years ago they may have been in Arizona. I don't know. They put in a bid every year or every couple of years, and they win it. They're a good lab. They've done great work for us, solved cases before. FBI has a great lab. They've solved some cases for us. That wasn't the issue here. The issue was we submitted our evidence from that crime scene to there. We also had some hard evidence, what I consider hard, physical cameras, phones, computers, things like that. And we knew the FBI has the best resources for those items to be analyzed. And that morning, people said, oh, you waited too long to call. We called them that morning, 8 o'clock. They immediately said, Sheriff, whatever you need. And they were attached to it. In fact, you just have to look at the press conferences that day, or I think it was Tuesday, the day after. Who's standing behind me? The FBI.
Right.
The next press conference, FBI. So we have a relationship.
Real quick, guys. Yeah, JLR is he had some streaming problems, I guess, in that area. So as far as the SWAT team, I'm assuming hopefully he's safe and getting into that location. There is the SWAT team. They cannot let the media. The reason why I don't know why NBC's not there, but you've seen that Newsmax was there because it's probably they don't want everybody out there right now. But there is a location. I just was texting my friend. He says SWAT is on location. As of now, nothing has happened. They're just staring at a location. So we'll listen a little bit more of this sheriff. But yeah, once again, JLR Investigate. Check him out. He right now his stream is just not working.
Here with the FBI, that is not just vital to the FBI. It's not just vital to my department. It is vital to this community. And that relationship has lasted for 30, 40 years, as far as I know. We've always sent people to work.
See right here, SWAT team on the move, right here.
Had people at our place to work with us. To suggest that this sheriff would tell the FBI no on anything, that's crazy.
So these reports that we have gotten that the FBI is frustrated that they feel you're not cooperating are completely false.
I agree, they're completely false. At this local level, I don't know what's going on in Washington. I respect Washington.
Oh, he's back. Thank you. At Nancy's house. Thank you. There we go. Hey, appreciate moderators. Thank you.
The FBI team here locally, that's their boss. And they have right to make decisions as bosses. I have bosses too. That's my community. And so we sit down with their local leadership here, the SAC and the ASAC from Phoenix and Tucson, and we talk about these things.
Hey, Ozzy, welcome in.
I'm talking to you, probably 10 times more.
They are staging, waiting on a judge.
DNA going to their lab or our lab. It was nothing more than simply a matter of, I have a lab that has all of our evidence. They have our markers for the family and people we want. Maybe it's the landscaper, the pool guy. All of
Thank you, Janine, for that information. Thank you. Thank you.
And then we had another crime scene at a scene we did a search warrant on. All that stuff went to our labs. And so when they bought me the glove that was found some 2 miles away, they said, we'll send it to our lab. I said, well, why do that? Let's just keep it all in one place.
Keep it all in one place. Okay, we should say for our audience that the SAC is the special agent in charge at the FBI. Getting back to the other Nest cameras, when do you think we might see I know this is an arduous process. Google helped out with the doorbell cam. When might we see the video from the other cameras?
We looked at it and said, the FBI, you guys take this on. Just like the ransom notes, they're great at that. They handle it. They deal with it. They got some of it back. What you saw, that one video, that's key. That front door video was so key to us. We're hopeful that the other cameras can be done the same with, but we've not heard. We know they were submitted, I think, to Google, and Google said, we'll try our best, but we've not heard back.
A neighbor, you put out an alert yesterday asking people to recheck all their security cameras, even their car cameras, because Teslas, for example, have recordings. You have everybody to check for if
the sheriff is definitely
February 2nd,
back and forth on this again.
A massive time frame. There has been video that has emerged from January 23rd, and this is from a home about 6 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. It shows a man on the front step at about 5 a.m. Are you investigating this?
Oh, I haven't seen this.
Do you know whether it's related?
So we have, like you suggest, a lot of video to go through. And this is one of them that we were alerted to, and we're looking at it. I allow the team, my team, the FBI team, those men and women who do the work, they take this as, it is nothing more than a lead, just like other leads. And they're taking it and they'll do everything they can to work with it and see, does it tie into ours? Right now, the belief is not really, but we're not dismissing it. We're still looking into it.
And you also asked for a
thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Thank you.
January
Thank you so much.
11th for neighbors to search. Why that date?
Well, I'm not real sure about all that with dates. I know we think of a search pattern. We come in, we fly over, we have ground troops, we do a search pattern. We come back.
Good
the next
evening,
day,
Jose.
we look at
Welcome
it,
in.
We miss anything, and we kind of go over it again.
Good to see
And
you.
once we feel good about that, we expand that search pattern. The same with dates, time frames. Did we limit ourselves when we said we want to know what happened between the 1st of February and the 2nd of February, or the 31st of January and the 1st of February? Maybe, but we know that there's more info out there, so we're expanding it. Is January 11th a specific date with specific ties to it? I don't know that. I allow my team to work, and they
Thank you,
trust
Karen.
me. They do tremendous work, and we do this.
Hello,
Are you
Edith.
still treating this case as a kidnapping, or are you also treating this as a possible homicide?
So
Great questions.
yes, it's definitely a kidnapping. As for a homicide, we are working under the belief that she's still out there somewhere. The family believes that. I believe that. Why would we?
Appreciate you, Anthony.
There's people say, well, there's no proof of life. Well, there's no proof of death either. Sometimes hope is all we've got. I've got a team of 400 officers out there from the state, the feds, the locals. They're working hard, not just for they're 24.
Guys, real quick, I just want to, I'm going to pause it real quick. First of all, thank you guys for being here. A little bit of psychology I study. I've been hard on the sheriff. First of all, he's taking his time to try to explain. When somebody just continues, he knows he messed up. And I'm not saying he should be fired. Who the hell am I to say somebody should be fired? But he looks like he's just old, washed up. And I don't mean old like he looks old. It's like somebody who's just been in a job 30 years plus. I don't know how long. He messed up. He clearly messed up. And he's just going back and forth. The questions from Elizabeth Vargas are amazing. Great reporting here. But for those who are just coming in, we had a JLR investigate. His internet, he went to a location. There is reports that SWAT team is on the move. We see News Nation's there. I'm surprised NBC's not there. And he can't give out the location because if he did, it can mess, if indeed they have the right person, if there's a suspect, you guys know this, around or in there, it will blow the case. And my source tells me with the DNA, he agrees, but he thought he heard there was a match, not to the family members, but there was a match. Now, in between that and now they're saying there's no match, I don't know. The whole story has been like, it's like that puzzle. I keep saying a puzzle. It looks like it's being put together. It's, you got the puzzle together and then it falls apart. So let's see. Let's hope that this location, if it looks like 100% the SWAT team is on the move, or at least there, hopefully they can either rule somebody else out or possible suspect in this case. And as far as the TMZ, in my opinion, I'll go back to this in 1 minute. I think it's all bullshit. And I'm going to say this again, guys, real quick. Hey, welcome in, Kai Rock. I'm going to say it for my opinion. These people are professionals. When I say professionals, this is not the first rodeo. They've done something to the extreme, something like this. Trust me, because obvious it's 13 days and we can't solve this. I mean, come on, you can't get that IP address and there's multiple people involved. I'm beginning to think there's even more than 2 people. I'm beginning to think there's a total of 3 or 4. I really am. And I am just shocked that they can't move a little quicker on this. But that's why I think this sheriff is just trying his best to continue explain himself. And when somebody's trying to explain himself over and over, he's pretty much admitted, he goofed up. Now, said all that, he messed up. I'm not still sure they would have found Nancy Gautry or the suspects. All I'm saying is perhaps it would have speeded things up and had FBI on there earlier. All right, so that's what we're listening to. We'll go back, and I'd like to hear if the SWAT they're going to show us anything on the SWAT.
Yeah.
And they're out there right now as we speak, and they need to have that hope too, and they do.
In cases like this, it is standard protocol. Investigators first start with the small circle of immediate family and very close friends and eliminate them and then work their way out. Have you completely eliminated any member of the Guthrie family?
Oh, here we go.
I will say this. I don't believe you eliminate anybody ever, because take the gentleman in Rio Rico where we went and did a search warrant.
Right.
We talked to him. We felt comfortable with what he said. We checked into his story, and we felt like, okay, maybe there's not, but you don't know that, because what if the stuff we sent to the lab comes back and says, hey, you have Nancy's DNA here. So you can't really ever eliminate anybody. What we do is we chase that lead down to an end and go, is this, are we satisfied? As for the family, and this is really key to me, and the media and those on social media need to understand this. You don't know the harm you do when you accuse somebody of something without any facts. And this family is suffering. They are grieving. And they have done nothing but cooperate with us all the way, every step of the way. My heart goes out to them. Have they been eliminated? Like I say, nobody's ever eliminated until we find who we're looking for. That video, someone knows who that is. That's who we need. We need somebody to tell us this is who this man is.
And very quickly, you brought up the glove that was found about 2 miles away. Do you think that glove was dropped by whoever took Nancy Guthrie?
Well, every piece of evidence, just like every clue, is vital. And I would never tell my community, oh, don't bother us with that. Don't bother. But that glove was 2 miles away. So we prioritize it. We look at it. We'd be crazy not to go.
Okay, I'm back, guys.
Look at it.
Just checking
But
something out.
since then, we've had reports
Don't
of
peek,
guns
welcome in.
being
How are you?
5-10 miles away.
Thank you for the
We
gift.
still
Thank
go
you,
out there
guys.
and
Thank
grab
you.
those, and we look
Mark, I
at it,
appreciate
and
you,
we
Mark.
Prioritize it and prepare it for processing of evidence.
But you haven't discovered whether or not Nancy Guthrie's DNA was on that glove.
The glove was sent for DNA, and that's all I know right
You're
now.
still waiting. I'm sure if her DNA was on that sheriff, you would have been the first person to get that phone call.
I would hope so.
Do you have any doubt you're going to solve this case? Do you have any doubt we're ever going to know what happened?
No, I have complete trust in my team. This is a team of young men and women, and now we have several teams of young men and women who do this every day. I would put their work up against anybody. Their homicide rate solvency is probably closest to 100% of any city this size. We're going to solve this. We're going to find this person, and then we're going to find Nancy.
Sheriff Chris Nanos, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, coming up, we are continuing to follow our top story. We'll have a panel of law enforcement experts here to weigh in on the SWAT operations underway. On
What do you guys
the sheriff
think?
Just said, and what this all means in the search for Nancy Guthrie.
Looking for anything that's leading to the SWAT. All we know is SWAT is ready to go. I'm assuming that they don't want to give out too much information because they know that these people. Hold on, guys. I'm just trying to catch up to. I think they probably realize that these suspects or these people involved are watching very closely. Here we go. This is back to live here.
February 1st. At this moment, the Pima County SWAT team is on the move. We don't know what they're going to do tonight, if they're staging.
Thank you,
or
Don't Peek. Thank
like
you
they
for
did
being here.
Nights ago, or if there's an arrest of anybody imminent. We will find out as we wait. Our own Brian Enton is on the scene with those SWAT team members. And moments ago, I spoke with Sheriff Chris Nanos, who told me that DNA testing is underway on samples of DNA that were found at Nancy Guthrie's home. This DNA that was found is unknown. It does not belong to Nancy. It does not belong to anyone in the Guthrie family, not to Savannah, not her sister, nobody. Not the son, the daughter, the sons-in-law, nobody.
So the whole family.
said that
Like Janine
investigators
said
are
20 minutes
trying
ago.
to get video from other surveillance cameras, Nest home security cameras that were at Nancy Guthrie's home. Remember, the biggest break in this case came just 3 days ago when the FBI managed to get that doorbell cam video with the help of Google retrieved from the software in that system. Let's get analysis on all of this from our panel. Kurt Dabb is a retired homicide detective with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Jeffrey Halstead is a retired police chief for Fort Worth, Texas, and a former commander of Phoenix Police. And Matt Murphy is a former senior deputy district attorney for Orange County, California. Great to have all of you here. Detective, I'm going to start with you because you used to work with Sheriff.
Thank you, Dale. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you.
I had with him just now.
Well, actually, I thought it was probably one of his better interviews that he has given since this whole incident started. Yeah, I was pleased with it. I liked his explanation of using our DNA lab, DLI in Deerfield Beach, Florida. It's a lab that we've used for many years. I've had great success. I got DNA off of a fired shell casing from them once, so I have the utmost confidence in their abilities.
And his explanation is that we started by sending DNA to this lab, and the reason we didn't send the glove to Quantico and the FBI lab is because we already had all the DNA from the beginnings of this case at this Florida lab.
Yes, and that makes perfect sense to me.
Chief, does that make sense to you as well?
Yeah, I agree with Kurt. I think it does make sense because you got to remember in the onset, it was Pima County 100%. And then as it became very complicated, then the FBI brings in the support with the assets, the resources, and the expertise. So that would make sense when it looks like at first, remember when this first started, it was a missing person investigation. So it would make sense that it would stay relative to the local law enforcement. Then it does start expanding and become extremely complex. That's when the FBI comes in. So that does make sense.
Matt, you spent many, many years prosecuting homicides, and you were on the scene of each of those homicides at the crime scene. Your jurisdiction is one of the few that does that. What do you make of the fact that DNA was found at Nancy Guthrie's home that doesn't match any member of her family, it isn't her own DNA, and it doesn't match anybody who worked and had access to the home? Does that sound like a big deal?
What we didn't learn is what kind of DNA it is. And I know that the two gentlemen on the panel with me have probably seen that a million times. Any crime lab analyst, any forensic scientist, they have an expression with, it's a dirty world. And if you test enough things, you're going to get DNA from all kinds of different sources. If this is sperm fraction DNA, that's huge, right? That's huge. But if this is touch DNA on a client,
This is interesting stuff here, guys.
I had and I know the two gentlemen
What they're talking about.
probably had this experience too. I had a murder once, horrific murder, break-in, where we had a fingerprint to a convicted felon, and we thought we were off to the races. Turns out the guy worked in the refrigerator factory in Tennessee, and he'd never been to California. So that's a fingerprint. DNA even more so. He specifically used the word mixture, and I know that caught the attention of these gentlemen as well. That means that when you're talking about mixtures, you're talking about mixed DNA. Now that can be victim and perpetrator, like you can have DNA with a sperm fraction that mixes with the victim.
Right.
But you can have, I've done triple mixture homicide cases before. So it doesn't mean anything given the information he gave us. And by the way, it's one thing if you say, I can't comment on that because we have pending investigation. It's another thing to say, I don't know if her DNA was on the glove. I'm sorry, but he answers a lot of questions this way. I don't know this guy. I want to be fair. I've been in front of those cameras before, and it's hard.
Yeah.
But come on, dude. Either he should know the answer to that, and it should be either yes or I can't tell you, or no.
Or we're still waiting to find out, which I think was my understanding of what he was telling me.
Elizabeth, you can get DNA within 24 hours. And by the way, no shade on that lab in Florida at all. The FBI can turn DNA around in 12 hours, and I've seen it.
Okay.
So,
all right. All right. Stand by, all three of you. We're going to take a quick break. We have plenty more to get to when we come back.
Okay, we have, looks like JLR is back. Not sure where he's heading at. They're on a commercial break. Oh, boy, guys. Crazy. So you heard it there. He's got the scanner on. I'll put this up a little bit.
There's another one right there.
Is that a?
That's Kev Posobiec. I'll ask him what he's doing here. Hello, sir. How are you? What you doing here?
Put my tools together in my truck.
Putting your tools together in your truck. Yeah, kind of on standby, seeing what's up. Are you hearing any buzz?
No.
No.
I know about this place, but are you? Oh yeah, you are.
Yeah, we're live. There's a lot of people just sitting around. There's a lot of.
I saw one lady.
I'm gonna come out right over here. I'm gonna park right over here.
Nice neighborhood.
We're in Marana.
We're in Marana.
Oh, Marana. They're in Marana.
Smooth the goddamn address.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it's for mommy.
To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
I'm on a live. We're trying to. They're searching a SWAT team's on location.
That one, I believe, has been checked, but
that one has been checked. 2685, but we'll look into it.
I have like 3 or 4 people from the media channel, Phoenix from Channel 12. Everybody's waiting, so we're not. There isn't somebody that has the address except for some.
Looks like they're okay, guys. Let me bring everybody up to date. I know some of these guys are getting home from work. Some of you guys are just getting done dinner. So the SWAT team, according to my source and also News Nation, they came out and said that they're on the location. It looked like he was sitting in his car, the reporter, not this reporter, and he just couldn't give out the location for obvious reasons because assuming the people are watching what's going on, guys. I have to step away for 1 second, though. I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me see what I can do here. If I can. Yeah, I got to step away. I have nothing to even hold the phone on. Hold on. I'll be right back, guys. Right back. Hey, what can I say? What's that? Did you text mommy and tell her? What's that? Oh, she keeps calling me. I'm on the line. All right, guys, I'm sorry. So what's going on here is, okay, so a couple different things. The DNA that came back from the lab in Florida, according to the sheriff department, that DNA is no match to the family, probably no match at all. This is not uncommon. Very clean. So there's no DNA. They're ruling out the family. They're not ruling out. They could still be a suspect. But as far as the DNA that was on that glove, remember, I want to bring everybody up to date. There was a glove found in the house and a glove outside yesterday. We covered a lot yesterday. And now the DNA came back from that lab. I think they had it last night. And there was no DNA from any of the family members who brought Tommaso or the family member who now brought it back. Now, what we're watching now, in between all this, is the SWAT team is on a location. I believe JLR is searching each neighborhood and other reporters. Now, it seems like to me, Newsmax has the location. Not that anybody's competing. This is about a woman that we want to find, hopefully alive, that we can get some, or some leads. So there is a $100,000 reward. I want to put that out there. There's been 18,000 tips now. The tips have decreased today a little bit because now they eliminate it down to the height of the person. What I find it very odd is why aren't they? I put that color photo from Google. If I can do that, why aren't they putting that color photo up anyhow? Aside from that, they're trying to find that location where SWAT is. Now, let me just say this. They're all saying it's SWAT. Newsmax, JLR's buddy, and in fairness, it could be a total separate incident. I just want to put it out there. Maybe, maybe not. It could be that they think it's a location that the suspects were. Maybe that's where they were giving out their ransom letters. I'm just, while we wait for everything to come back, right now they're just talking to the panel. We're not missing much. So it could just be that they were, maybe that was a location. Maybe it's a warehouse. Maybe it's some there where that's where the suspects were. I still think there's multiple suspects. And now they get there and nobody's there. Or they can hit a grand slam and maybe the suspects are there. I doubt it. So they got to be very careful on what they expose. We just listened to the sheriff. I'm looking in here, see what's going on. Hold on, we got some stuff back here. Oh no, that's from last night. Okay, nothing. They're just showing us some other stuff. Okay. So we will not miss anything, guys. I got 2 feeds going. We have the one from JLR, who's working his butt off over there. We have News Nation on. I'm sure Fox will be on. I'll be working different streams. It's a good time to talk because there's not much going on. They're just showing the same detail from earlier with the media set up in Nancy Galtry's house. So let me get caught up in some comments. Welcome in, moderators. Appreciate everybody. Big case, guys. Big case. Could this be the day? Could this be the day? So I'll look up Kivu and have a pic of the possible suspect. Hold on. Do they have a pic? Hold on. I'll look it up now. Oh, yeah, let him out. I didn't let him out. Lizette. How do you spell it? How do you spell it? Oh, Kvue. Oh, Kvue. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I got people. Yeah, I don't know if I want to show. Yeah, it's so funny. Heavy hook, because my source was texting me. I just don't want to show a new photo until we know, a little bit more. Yeah, there's some photos going on. You guys can look of updated of the suspect. Now I have the one that's in color, but there's some other photos that are going around the internet. So if you want to go ahead and step away and check it out. Yeah, I just don't want to have any, this is, I've had similar problems. My channel's nicey nice. I don't want to have any problems or lawsuits showing the wrong person. But I think, so that's where we're at. I'm going to go back to JLR here. Oh, it's on YouTube search? Because I went on Google. Okay. Did you let him out? I just screwed everything up. Shit. All right. I went back to JLR.
People are starting to just circle the block.
Yeah, they're starting to circle block. Here's another media. Here's another media. This
So-
is Fox right here.
So they're all following each other, guys. They're all trying to find the location. This is crazy, isn't it? And the only one who knows the location is News Nation.
Here.
So we're in the right
We're in there. I'm telling you.
Unless they're following us.
Unless they're following us or they just suspect to have a hunch.
I'm watching the chat.
Yeah, this is live right here.
If there's one, but
And this is live.
I don't see anything going on.
All right, so it's kind of
We
funny.
literally have SUVs, black SUVs now in media.
Look. John said he's northwest of Tucson.
What happens, guys? Let me just fill everybody in. Right now, what are we watching? What's going on? Everybody's a little bit confused. Maybe you just come home from work. What happens is when you got one journalist or one news outlet driving around and running around, they start following each other. They want to break in it. The ratings and all that, right? And I'm referring to like the big news nations. I think the only person is in the right spot of the SWAT team is News Nation. News Nation is there. He looked very comfortable. Yes or no? Most of you have been on with me for an hour. He looked very comfortable in the car that he had the exact location, or at least he thought he did. The rest are kind of going around and around and around, hoping they can find SWAT and eventually, get a suspect or a location that they were there, or it could be nothing. It could be a whole separate incident, or it could be the end of this. So sit back, guys. Get your if you're able to drink caffeine, get your caffeine on. Get some food. Sit back with us, guys. Let me do the work. You guys, I'll do the best I can. There is another photo going around of a person that looks similar to the guy I have in my thumbnail and everything we've been seeing for the last 2, 3, 4 days now, that suspect, that you can see his face. But I'm not sure if it's an AI generated or I'm not sure it's somebody else. So I don't want to, I'm afraid to show it and I don't want to get sued. So until I see one of the news put it out there, like NBC, then I'll show it to you. But you guys can go ahead and type it in. Just put suspect of Nancy Guthrie, and you'll see some different photos going on. So that's what's happening here. They're going to be driving around. It's almost like the blind leading the blind. You know what I mean? They think this could be the location SWAT teams. That's a beautiful neighborhood, right? It looks like a nice upper middle class neighborhood with a great HOA, very clean. I would assume it's probably not here, but who knows? The SWAT wants them out of the way. Yeah, it's a good comment. I was just thinking that myself. I didn't want to say it. You just said it. And so, yeah, it could be very well. They don't want him, who knows, guys? This whole case has been from the beginning, 13 days now. 13 days of we're getting some leads. We go forward. We take a couple steps forward and then we take a couple steps back. $13 days. The only thing we can share for maybe you guys didn't watch anything yesterday. I'll go over a few things while we have a minute. A couple things is we haven't heard anything about the tattoo anymore, but we know he has a They said he had a tattoo on the wrist. They did up the reward to $100,000. The description is a male, 5'9" to 5'10", average built. We got a DNA back today from Florida. The sheriff spoken for 15 minutes, and they pretty much ruled out, as far as the DNA. When I say rule out the family, they did not rule out the family as suspects. They ruled them out as far as the DNA of the gloves go. That does not mean they can still be involved or maybe not involved. So there was one glove that was found in the house. I don't know where they found that glove at. And then one glove about 1.5 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's house. So they took the DNA and there was no match at all. Now, as far as that backpack goes, I'm reading something here. Okay, so now they're saying there is a SWAT team there. Okay, so my sources tell me there's a SWAT team and they're not even close to the location. So I don't know, guys. All right, so what was I talking about? Oh, the backpack. It was an Ozarks camping sport backpack that was purchased from a Walmart. And now they're working with Walmart security team at this very moment, I'm sure, working around the clock. I'm sure Walmart is got their security team working around the clock, having a lot of coffee to see every receipt, at least in that general area. I'm sure they checked with the big Walmarts. I'm assuming the super Walmarts, not those small Walmarts. For those who live in the West Coast, you know what I mean? You have the small Walmarts. So I'm sure they looked at the 2 or 3 huge, big super Walmarts, right? They got security team evaluating anybody who bought a backpack. Anybody who bought a backpack, period. And they're probably going to go as far as the Ozark backpack. So they'll check all the backpacks. They'll probably even go farther and look for like a ski mask and, that kind of stuff. And maybe they'll find, hey, there was a Ozark backpack purchased on January 10th, maybe January 2nd, you know what I mean? Or maybe it was December of last year. I'm sure they're going to go back a couple months maybe. And then when they get that, they'll determine how they pay for it. Credit card? Who was the person who paid for it? I got to be very careful on the ads. They come in so quick. And once I show ads, there's a problem. I don't want to get shut down. So, okay, hold on. Here we go. Here, look at him. He's real relaxed. He's got the location. Look at the lights. He's at the location.
To be careful and responsible, Elizabeth. When I say staging, what I mean, and we've seen them do this other nights, they leave the sheriff's office and they all meet in one location to get ready just in case they get the call that they are needed to go out and whether it be serve a warrant, whatever it may be. But they are doing that again tonight, and they haven't done that every night. They did it the night that they remember with Carlos, near the border where they detained the guy and then they let him go. They did the same thing that night. So we don't know if this means that there's going to be activity tonight. We don't know if this means that they've got a lead, but we know that they are staging and they're getting ready tonight, Elizabeth.
And how big is the team, very quickly, Brian?
Look how relaxed.
Like, what are we talking about?
So it's pretty big. Yeah, I mean, it's dozens of people, and they've got all the armor that you can imagine in the SWAT vehicles.
He's there.
I've seen before.
This guy's there.
And I've also confirmed, although they're not where I am right now, but the FBI hostage rescue team is also in Tucson, which is a big deal. It's one of the most elite units within the FBI. So they are also here and ready if they get the call, and we're just going to have to see what tonight brings.
When did they arrive?
The hostage rescue team arrived. It's been 3 or 4 days now,
okay.
And they haven't been called out to any of the scenes that I've been to yet.
Some are saying a
I did
distraction.
confirm that they are here. They are in Tucson and they're ready to go.
All right, Brian Enton reporting live in Tucson. Thank you so much. Coming up for us, we will have much more on this, sir. Chris Cuomo joins me live next to discuss.
I gotta tell you guys, I'm keeping Newsmax on. We're gonna keep
News Nation tonight.
We are keeping Newsmax on. They are the shit, man. Shout out to Newsmax, huh? That guy is at the location, and he's not like he's careful. I thought I'd seen some like police lights. He's like he's close. He's close. The rest of them, they're driving around in circles. Look, they're all going. Look. These are all the other independent journalists and other news. Fox, CNN. Fox is following CNN. CNN's following Fox. Crazy. So we're gonna stick with Newsmax. And by the way, Newsmax is up to date. You know, how do I put this? I don't care anymore. You guys know my political status already and what I think. But you know what? I call it as it is. Fox, they're a little bit behind sometimes. They're a little bit behind. I'm just going to say it as it is. You know, they have their stuff they need to cover, the producer. You know, CNN, sorry, I can't hide. Newsmax, they're on. So, hey, guys, all joking aside, though, here's the thing. Let's hope that this is the real deal. Let's hope that they have a location. Boy, it would be great to have a location. Maybe get some DNA there. Maybe they find a pen, you know, that they wrote up the letter. I mean, you don't know. I know a lot of you say, sure. You don't know. Maybe they'll find some kind of evidence. Maybe a piece of hair from Nancy. You know, the hair on. Who knows if it's the location. So we'll see what happens. We'll stay live as long as Newsmax is keeping us up to date. But that reporter, he's like this. He's like, I'm here. He looks so relaxed, so confident as far as the location. We don't know. It could be a whole separate incident. Time will tell. But at the end of the day, guys, let's hope. And this is 13 days. Has anybody on here ever seen anything like this? Anything like this? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Meanwhile, to my right, they're just driving around the homes there. So, all right, let me get caught up with some comments, guys. Yeah, I can't remember anything like this, folks. Nothing. The only thing that comes maybe this close was O.J. Simpson. You know, when I say close, all eyes on TV. We didn't have live, but we had Facebook, I think. Anyhow, you know, with all the TV outlets and everything like that. Other than that, this is kind of crazy that we can't even get a suspect. You know, and I'm thinking about that DNA. I find that very bizarre, too. I know they said it's not unusual, guys. Is anybody a former police officer? Anybody work for CSI? Anybody on here? Anybody have a family member? Is this normal? I mean, taking this long to get the glove inside and there's no DNA that matches nobody? Or they're just keeping their mouth shut? Are they just not going to tell us anything? So, really, really bizarre. Get a new sheriff, John says. John, I think his days might be limited because, you know, we're not talking about an error. You know, in baseball, you make an error. We're talking about 5 errors in 1 inning. This guy certainly walked into a crime scene he didn't expect. You know, it seemed like a guy whose mind was on a basketball game. Sounds like a guy whose mind was on retiring soon. And yes, I'm calling that piece of shit out because he really, really made errors. And he might be retiring very soon. And we just watched him. Now, Janine, one of my loyal subscribers and moderator, she said it from the get-go. I'm sure she's not the only one. Something's not right with this sheriff. Dustin, I hope you're doing well. Hey, thank you, members. Appreciate you guys as we continue to work together and chat among each other, guys, and hope for the best and voice your opinion, guys. I mean, you know, Chris Como will be on next on News Nation.
In the Guthrie family or anybody who worked or visited the property. Also, he said the FBI is currently trying to recover video from other Nest security cameras inside the Guthrie home and that they have gotten 18,000 tips on top of the 13,000 the FBI has gotten. Chris Cuomo joins me now. He's going to take over the coverage. That's a lot of information for them to sift through.
It's a lot of information and yet it's not enough. I'm being told that the SWAT staging is a just in case. They do it as a standby.
Right.
So it means that they have a reason to be on standby, but it doesn't mean that they have a reason to be active.
Right.
So we'll take it as it comes. This is already, this happens sometimes. Most abductions get solved within hours or days. And the statistic that people become very familiar with is if you don't hear when a child is taken within 24 to 48 hours, the chance that it is a kidnapping and homicide goes up exponentially.
Yeah.
Okay. But we don't know that we have an analog here when it's an elderly person because it's a different psychopathy.
Yeah,
Okay. It's a different mindset. So we don't know what this is. So the normal rules don't apply. And I saw your interview with the sheriff. I mean, he's doing what he can, but let me unpack what's going on for people and let's see if we get a break on our watch. That would be great.
All right, Chris.
Elizabeth, well done and appreciated. I'll take it from you. Chris Cuomo, welcome to News Nation. Friday the 13th has brought two major potentially positive developments in the Nancy Guthrie case. There is a potential new communication and a DNA discovery. The note is getting the attention. I think the DNA may be more promising. I'll explain. The note came once more to TMZ. This time, though, reportedly, and we'll see, TMZ is going to be on with us in a second, that this note is not from someone claiming to be involved, as I understand it, but from someone who claims to know someone involved in the kidnapping of the 84-year-old. Okay, so what does that mean?
I'm sorry, guys.
We'll see. We'll talk to Harvey Levin about it, and we'll see what it means. But we have a much more direct potential connect with the DNA. Why? Police are saying it doesn't belong to Nancy. Police are saying it doesn't belong to any Guthrie family member. Now, I am told Nancy was known to have people over, but not that many that often. So what does that tell you? If it's not her family, you have a better probability that this could be the person who came in the house to get her.
Not much,
remember,
Texas.
DNA science is advanced. They have two ways to ID someone. The national, state, and local index systems, which are known as CODIS, right? That's if you're in there and you're matched, boom. But they also have the new technology of genealogy testing, meaning they can match this DNA they found to any online sample from any of the ancestry or lineage sites of a relative.
Thank you, Edwin.
You see what I'm saying? They can actually draw a circle around, get somebody, does this person have any family there? Contact them. There's a lot of avenues of opportunity. News Nation's Brian Enton is on the scene following a SWAT team that is on the move about half an hour.
All right, listen in, folks.
Yeah, hey, Chris, we're being careful. And what you said to Elizabeth is absolutely right. We don't know if this is anything. I've seen them stage other nights before. And this is what they do. They all get together, they leave the sheriff's office, and they stage in a certain location just in case they get the call that they are needed. Now,
Yes,
they
it's
haven't done
live.
this every night. They've done this a couple of nights. So it could mean that we're going to see some action tonight. They did it the night that we saw the guy get detained near the Mexico border. So we are just waiting to see how this plays out. What you said about the development with the DNA is big because it means that they have DNA from inside the house that's not connected to Nancy and is not Nancy. And it's possible that could be a huge break. I mean, that could be the second biggest break we've seen after, I think, the surveillance photos that came out a couple days ago.
And Brian, excuse my voice, I'm just dying of a cold. When you're watching the movements, how does it occur to you? Who do they have that they're dispatching on standby?
So they've got the SWAT team on standby, the Pima County SWAT team, which is a pretty big unit, and they've got their big SWAT trucks, and they've got their gear, and they've got and K9. They've been called out. I confirmed that, and I think I told you this the other night, that the hostage rescue team, the FBI's HRT, is in Tucson, also ready to go, although they are not part of this group that is staging tonight. They also were not part of the group that staged the other night when they detained the man near the border. So, but they are here in Tucson.
Important. Important, and it's good for you to be respectful. I'll be coming back to you, especially if I can't talk. But I appreciate you being on the scene. Let me know if you have any developments. Tell me or Dusty, we'll come back to you. All right. So let me take you through the timeline of how we got here, because it's important to see the kind of ebb and flow on this one. Again, I've never seen a case like this. It's unusual for a number of reasons. And I don't believe one of those reasons is because of investigative Mr. Malfeasance. I'll talk to some experts about that later in the show, but let's deal with the developments. Saturday, January 31. Nancy Guthrie goes to dinner, gets dropped off by her son-in-law, is supposed to go to church the next morning. 1:47 a.m. that night, her doorbell camera gets disconnected. 11:46 a.m., Nancy doesn't show up for church. People call. Family calls. Reports are missing. 20 minutes later, local sheriffs come, no Nancy, but they do find blood on the front porch. Now, what does the blood spatter mean? If we show it again, if you can re-rack it and show it again, I'll get you something that a phlebotomist told me today, a forensic investigator. Re-rack that, and I'll explain something to people about this. Okay, you see the drops? The drops mean two things in that spatter. You see the spatter and then the drops. Okay, this is what I'm told by this guy, and this is like a 50-50, okay? One thing that seems pretty certain, and I haven't heard anybody disagree with this, is that it's not an active major wound, okay? There's no arterial pumping going on. Good, thank God. The drops could be anything from a nosebleed that is related to an ongoing medical condition, or it could be a contact injury. The spatter was a point of confusion for these people because it looked like it was more of a discharge, volume. They now believe it's not volume, that it was just several drops that wound up spraying on top of one another. So they thought maybe it may have indicated a delay, like she was being carried or she paused or something like that. That's the blood. February 3rd, 3 notes come. 1 to TMZ, 2 to 2 local news affiliates. Remember, local news affiliates getting notes like that usually shows an affinity play, meaning somebody's local. 2 deadlines. Demands for $6 million in Bitcoin. February 7, no more contact, no proof of life. That's very unusual, okay? Savannah Guthrie releases a video telling them she's willing to pay. No proof of life, doesn't matter, we'll pay. We don't know if those ransom notes were real or just a real bad person and a bad prank. There becomes speculation. Oh, Guthrie's video and her second video, they seem familiar from movies. Yeah, it's because the feds are giving them advice on how to say things that goes with their experience of what works. And often former FBI people do what? They consult on movies. That's why. There's nothing suspicious about it. You know, I mean, this is this conspiratorial BS thinking from social media. Then the authorities keep going back into the home and they go into the family members' homes. And they have always been given a consent to search, okay? Tuesday, February 10, big break. FBI releases the doorbell cam video from the night Nancy was taken of a masked man armed with a gun, wearing gloves, trying to cover the camera. It's an odd contrast for investigators. Nonchalant, takes his time, doesn't seem to be in a rush, and yet seems to be completely incompetent. The way he's dressed may look sophisticated, but it's actually really thrown together and very identifiable. So not really a pro move. And looking for the branch, to block the camera is a rookie move, okay? And ideas about the investigation, the FBI did like miracle work here to find this through metadata and get this. This was an extraordinary discovery. And remember, up until this point, we didn't know for sure if Nancy Guthrie had been taken. There was still an open question. So, thousands of tips pour in, okay? Then they seem to get a break. They get this Hispanic man, and the key was they detained. When they detain, that means they don't have probable cause for an arrest, okay? And sure enough, they wound up talking to this guy and releasing him, all right? Wednesday, TMZ says they received an email from somebody saying they know who the kidnapper is and would tell them if they deposited 1 Bitcoin, which is about 67 grand right now and dropping, into their account. Also Wednesday, after an extensive search in the Catalina foothills, authorities find a black glove that looks like what the guy had on. It's about 1.5 miles from Nancy's home. Yesterday, authorities released video of a man with a similar backpack, scaling a wall. Remember this? They find him, again, a good piece of police work. Somebody calls in to tip. We got to remember the power of people. They're so instrumental in these investigations. But this wound up not being a guy who's related, or so the authorities say. That brings us to today. TMZ gets a third email from a man who claims he knows the identity of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper. So it's not him. He's not involved, but he says he knows. This is a different suggestion than earlier notes, okay, which were purportedly from someone involved. Let's bring in the man of the moment, TMZ founder Harvey Levin. Once again, a hub of understanding. Help me understand what I just told people about the sequence of what you've gotten and any distinctions you see among them.
Well, I'm focused on two things. Because I agree with you. I mean, he's from the Tucson area. There's just no doubt. I am focused on two things. This ransom note is, I will put it to you this way, Chris. The FBI is keenly interested in this ransom note, and I know this. Keenly interested in it. So the question then is, you're right. How does he, they're not really showing proof of life as far as we know. And the money has not been deposited. So why is it being ignored if they seem to be acting as if this is real? I can't answer that question. I am perplexed by it. But when you take that ransom note, which I believe the FBI has good reason to think it may well be real, then you look at these other emails we've been receiving, 3 of them this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, from a man who says he knows who this kidnapper is. We got our
So wait, Harvey, help me understand something. The ransom note is separate. You don't believe it's from the same guy. Then you get 3 emails. You think those 3 are from the same guy.
I know the ransom note stands on its own. Separately, we have received 3 emails from the same person. And I know that because in each of those 3, there is a very specific Bitcoin address that we've been checking. Okay. So these 3 are coming from the same person. Wednesday, the person wanted $50,000 in return for the name of the kidnapper. Said it's going to be his last contact. Yesterday, he made a similar demand, got a little more specific. At about noon today, Pacific time, we got a third. And the third is interesting. And I will tell you, the FBI is interested in this. I know that. And we've given it to them. So the ransom has now gone up to $100,000. And it's gone up because this person knows that the FBI has doubled the reward. The person begins by saying, look to the FBI. I don't trust you, and you don't trust me. So I'm going to go through TMZ because I don't really trust you at all. So he wants the $100,000, but he wants it his way. And the way he wants it is he wants a fraction of a Bitcoin worth $50,000 immediately deposited in his account. And in return, he says he will, and this is a quote, he will immediately provide the name of the main individual along with his information for you.
What do you guys think? Anybody still believes that there is a ransom note? I mean, surely it's going to TMZ. Why TMZ? We've been continuing to say if it was a real ransom, in my opinion, it would go right to the family member. It would go right to the family member, to one of the family members, all 3 say, hey, we have your mama here. We're going to show a brief recording. If you want her back, pay half of the money now. Look, I think this is to throw them off. I think these people are, I'm going to give them some credit. They will get caught. These people have done this, similar situation. They've been in it. They've been testing the neighborhood probably for months now, by months, scoping up this neighborhood. Okay. These were not amateurs, even though I know a lot of you are going to disagree. And that's what I love about these lives. But I understand with the flowers and the plants and putting it on there. That wasn't a child. It looked like to me a young adult, maybe in their 30s. I have it in color. It looks like they were just playing. They're playing all of us. They're playing everything on here. I mean, I've never, ever seen anything like that. I don't think these ransom notes are real. I don't think they have no intent. They know they're not going to get the money. They know they're not going to get any kind of money at all. I think, unfortunately, these people planned this. Something went wrong. There's not a whole lot of blood. There's just a little bit of blood. I know I'm here. I'm trying to read all your comments. There's some, I mean, I'm hearing all kinds of like it's involved with the Clintons and all that. Guys, no, this is something where they had it out for the family for whatever reason. All right. And I still are not going to give anybody a pass in the family. Just because the DNA came back with no, they're rolling out the family. I'm still not rolling out any of them. You got to really keep everything close. But as far as the ransom letters, guys, no way. There is nobody sitting around. No way. They don't do that kind of stuff. They're going to take a person. They're going to show a quick video, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. They're going to say, give us the money. You have 24 hours. No money? That's it. And that's the way it's going to be. They're not going to go on for 13 days. Come on. They're just throwing the authorities and the police off. And they got kind of lucky in a way so far because that sheriff is ready to retire. He hasn't said it publicly. He looks like a tired sheriff, somebody who's been working his whole life, if he's been working, who walked into something that he did not expect. And I'm also hearing reports that the people that work for him are younger people, nothing against young people, who is a big turnover in the Tucson, Arizona Sheriff Department. Big turnover. That shows you that the people that are running it aren't happy with the sheriff and the people that are giving the orders for a while. A big turnover. So here's what you have. You have a combination of some young, inexperienced, and a sheriff who's worn out, who got caught into something, and whoever did this was scoping this neighborhood out for a long, long time. They knew there was no street lights. So when I hear people say, oh, they're amateurs, what do you mean they're amateurs? If they were amateurs, they would have been caught. They would have been caught in 12 hours, in 1 day, 2 days. So they're not amateurs. They're not amateurs. I'm not giving them credit, folks. Please don't. They will get caught, whoever did this. And I keep saying there's more than one person. And now I'm beginning to think there's maybe 2, 3, and 4 people. They need to get their shit together. The FBI needs to get their shit together. The sheriff department, he needs to resign. They need to bring somebody in with some experience and work hard to resolve and bring that woman, bring closure to the family. And we'll listen a little bit more of Harvey Levin from TMC.
To track. So I guess we can stop and talk about what does he mean by main individual, because by definition, he's suggesting more than one person is involved. That's the first time he's said something like this in any of the 3 notes that we've received. The second, then he goes on to say that he will not touch that initial $50,000 payment until an arrest is made. And once there is an arrest, he would expect the FBI in good faith.
Get the hell out of here.
Additional $50,000 in Bitcoin. He says, and I think this is interesting, he is gambling both for his safety and his possible freedom. When you say possible freedom, it's almost as if he's saying, I'm kind of close to the flame and maybe they're going to try and implicate me. At least that's the way I read it. And then the last thing he says, and I'll actually read from the note, he says that manhunt of the main individual that can give you all the answers, be prepared to go international. To me, that can only mean Mexico. So again, I am not telling you, Chris, that this is authentic, that this is actually a person who knows the identity and location of the kidnapper, but he has been persistent. He definitely has the attention of the FBI, and this is the latest what we got.
How crazy is it, Harvey, that while they can pull that video out of the metadata bin from some back alley of Google, you cannot find this guy. They can hide their emails. You know, in the old days, it used to be the ISP. They'd get the number, they'd go back to that desktop, and they were going to figure out who was using it. Now, they really can't find you. And crypto adds another layer of really, I mean, you put money in that account, you don't know who has the wallet. It's one of one. You know what I mean? There are no routing numbers. You know, there's no physical inventory anywhere. It's not like you can call a bank and say this guy works through you. It's really vexing.
I am so perplexed by this because it feels like, because, you know, I was in my 20s, It feels like the Zodiac Killer case where they
Yeah, it
just
does.
couldn't find any clue, and the guy was flirting with the media. And I thought we're now in a time where you can't hide from anything.
It does.
There are
It
cameras
does.
everywhere. There are ways to track.
You guys,
there is
the
DNA.
Zodiac Killer?
And you know, it's funny because I was thinking this is like the bonanza for Dateline because there's so much evidence you can collect and create a show over because they're able to amass all of that. And yet, this feels like a throwback 40 years ago. I feel exactly the same way.
Technology works two ways. Now, I was saying when I came to you, it's a sword and a shield. When that the guy looks to the layman like, oh boy, this guy really looks like he's dressed the part. But it's very identifiable clothing. I mean, even the jacket is drawing some attention, right?
So we have been spending the day looking for the type of jacket. We were able to identify the backpack pretty quickly. So we've been spending time on the jacket. So initially we thought it was an Aero Hex windbreaker, but we kept digging. We believe now that this is it's called an Athletic Works Fusion knit jacket.
Oh.
What is interesting about this is it's sold at Walmart. That backpack was also sold at Walmart. It has the same black horizontal stripe as the one that the kidnapper is wearing, same type of zipper. The material matches, the pockets match. So we have not confirmed this with law enforcement. I'm just telling you what we've done here all day. But it really looks like this Athletic Works Fusion knit jacket sells for $27 at Walmart. And the backpack was super inexpensive as well. But it's interesting, the two of those items purchased at the same place.
Wow.
One other thing, Harvey, and I appreciate you.
Interesting.
And, I'm happy for you that TMZ is being used as a hub this way, and that you're being as responsible as you are with it. I think that's you're doing a service to the investigation and, frankly, to the media. How do you reconcile this guy acting like an ass clown, but also being so casual and not in a rush and doesn't seem nervous as he's doing something that should absolutely worry him? And yet he doesn't really seem to have a plan when he is there messing around on the porch. It is a very odd combination.
Yeah, I mean, look, I am puzzled by a lot here because, if that ransom note is real, this is a smart, methodical man who is plotted this and really
Exactly.
through when you read this ransom note.
Exactly.
The person I'm seeing seems bumbling to me. See, I don't even see him as casual. I see him as bumbling. That the guy walks up to a door not realizing that a lot of people have these cameras on their door. And he seems surprised. And he walks back, stoops down, grabs some bushes to try and shield the camera lens. That felt bumbling to me. And it doesn't align with a smart, tech-savvy type person, although he is covered from head to toe. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Harvey, you are the man of the moment. Thank you very much for helping us understand this. Look, hopefully it's all connected. Hopefully it leads somewhere. And I appreciate the conversation. We'll speak again. Have a good weekend.
You too.
4 minutes and 35 seconds. Coming up next, we're going to now take a deeper look into this. And because we don't have any urgency right now,
What do you guys
we're not
think?
about to make an arrest, I do want to take
Let's
one
talk
step aside.
between breaks.
What is the fair read on the competency of
Deeper
this-
diving into the Gulf Tree crime scene, folks. You heard there Harvey Levin. I have to say, I don't watch the show. I probably watched about an hour the whole time TMZ being on, but it's got to be very difficult for him. With that said, he's like he's reading my mind with Harvey. It almost sounds like one of those, somebody with a very, very high IQ, somebody maybe watched a movie, and I'm sure the FBI is looking at all these movies in the past. The Zodiac, I was going to say that earlier, and I think he intentionally did that with the plants. I think he's doing that to just throw everybody off. This guy is really smart. I think he just did that to be like a I'll throw them off. I'll look like somebody who's how do I put this? Somebody who's suffering from something a little slower than a lot of us, right? And I think he's just playing it all, writing these letters, sending the TMZ, sending them to a local news outlet, one email or letter, and he is playing, and they're doing a good job. Him along with somebody else. And I'm still not ruling out this Tommaso guy. I am not ruling him out. It could be one of his students. Now, just because the DNA and they're ruling out the family on that glove, that's not ruling out Tommaso. There's a reason why they continue going back to Savannah's sister, Nancy Guthrie's daughter's house and son-in-law. He was the last person to drop her off according to the family, and then they changed it and said family. It was him. He dropped her off. And I wouldn't be surprised that they're working together with maybe one of his students that he taught history. And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was a history teacher. I could be wrong. So I think they're playing us. I really do. For what reason? What reason? A money problem? I know they have a nice house. Are they behind on their mortgage? Does he have a gambling problem, a drug problem? Is he crazy? Is he just doing it because he's crazy and he doesn't even care about the money? If it's him, I'm making it sound like it is him. We don't know. But I am sure they're keeping him very close. The FBI knows more than they're telling us. Meanwhile, JLR, who investigates, they're still parked. They're trying to find that location. SWAT team is on a location that we don't know. News Nation broke it. One of the reporters is sitting in his car, very relaxed. They did say that it could be absolutely nothing. When I mean nothing, there's definitely SWAT. There's definitely SWAT there, but it could just be an empty building, an empty home, an empty warehouse, or it could be much more. So we'll stay live as long as that SWAT team is there. If that SWAT team departs, then we'll come to a conclusion on this live. But I'm going to stay live. It's Friday night, Friday the 13th, and still not much more information other than the DNA came back and it wasn't Nancy and it wasn't any family members. It looks like it's raining there in Tucson, Arizona as well. What's that mean? Not much, just, raining. I was reading some comments and one stuck in my head, guys, and thank you for being here. The blood. I'm reading that, people are thinking that it's not Nancy's blood. This is what's so widespread. I read that the Clintons are involved. President Trump's involved. This, that, whatever. I think the more we I think sometimes we go way outside that box, we go too far out the box. I think we got to stay in that box, go out of the box a little bit when we go too far out and we start reading a lot into it. Things are going to pop in our heads and it's going to make it difficult. Look, at the end of the day, the family wants closure. I would say the Savannah was probably not involved and she wants her mom back alive, of course. But at this point, I think they have decided, they're very in the faith that they're probably saying, let's really hope for the best, pray for the best. In their case, pray. But at the other hand, let's expect that there's a chance that mama might not be home anytime soon. But they want closure on this. So, all right. So this is live right here, guys, at the house of Nancy. This is live. I'm going to keep Chris Cuomo down a little bit. No defense to Chris Cuomo. I just don't want to talk a little bit here. Look at that. It's live there. No SWAT team here. This is just a sheriff department. They leave there. I understand they keep a sheriff there every night. Again, no, there's nothing taped around the house. Not many reporters there, huh? Seems like all the reporters over here. They're all like circling around this neighborhood and parked on the side of the street, thinking that the SWAT team is here. Maybe they are, but maybe they're not. So we got 2 feeds going on right now. Yeah, JLR is still there. Heavy hook. Hey, thank you, moderators, by the way. I was listening like you guys were. I was just taking a lot of that information in there from Harvey Levin. But yeah, JLR sitting on the side of the street along with some other media coverage. Reading some comments. Is she, I'll just say this for YouTube. Got to be very careful. Is she on a live? We don't know yet, you know. Let's see what they're saying here.
County, Bob Krieger. Bob, it's good to have you. It's good to have you both.
Let's see what Bob says.
Thank you for joining us. Let me get my order of priority straight here. First, you were part of SWAT. What does it mean when they're staging in an area? How should we?
Thank you, Mike.
I would read it as there's a little more going on than what has been going on. We do not have a full-time team. Everyone has other jobs. So to even be in a standby mode, it's a little bit more elevated. If something were actively happening and they knew or had an idea or a feeling where Nancy was or might be, they would not be standing by. They would be actively moving in a much more urgent manner.
Appreciate you, Subway.
What is
Mayonnaise.
your fairest take on whether or not you believe this investigation has been competent?
I will say this. I'm sure the investigators have done the best that they can. In Tucson, on night 1, that's not an uncommon call for the sheriff's department. A missing person, a home invasion, a kidnapping. We've handled all those in the past. I don't know the depths that they went into it, but I do know that the investigators that were there that night,
Thank you so much, Subway.
They did an adequate job. As things evolved, things come and go, information comes and goes. That can create
Matthew Jones, appreciate you.
I've been part of investigations in my time where we've had to go back because more information came out.
Yeah.
So as far as an adequate investigation goes, yeah. A perfect investigation goes, that could be questioned.
You know, but this is such a weird one. I mean, even from a forensic perspective, I don't know if you heard me talking about the blood. Does that square, Mr. Forensic Expert, with your read on those drops and then the spatter?
Well, absolutely. I mean,
Robert says the whole thing is off. I agree. The whole thing's just bizarre.
Their assumption and their expertise brings you to that conclusion. The question came up.
Amen, Rebecca. Amen.
Somebody had mentioned that there might have been oxygen in the blood, but regardless, the pattern there suggests that, you know, there was obviously an injury, but not a severe one. So I think if they've documented that, they've gathered the DNA from that right away.
Back to the blood.
They're following their procedures. So
back to the
that
blood
doesn't
here.
surprise me.
DNA that is not Nancy's and not the family's, Ed. I say that that's the best piece of evidence they've developed to date. Why would that be true?
Well, again, you know, you can look at it from the perspective of they can research the genealogy side of that as well as the CODIS database. So the question now becomes, if you can narrow that down, does it narrow it down enough, or do they need to do some additional researching? And maybe if it's linked to a particular person, maybe that's a sibling of that person, and they need to go a step further.
Yeah, but it's a lot closer than where they are right now. Now
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
talk about let's talk about the really vexing aspect of this. These communications. Okay, let's start with the crypto requests. Krieger, how do you deal with that when you know you put that money in there, it's gone. You have no strings on this guy. So for all our forensic, and I got to say, the work of getting that video through the metadata, that is exceptional policing. That was done real fast as far as I'm concerned, and the guys I've talked to about it. But now, like, what do you do with these crypto things?
Bonding 45, welcome in, my friend.
What the right
Thanks for your comments. Sue, good to see you, my friend.
As far as the crypto goes, my
Shannon, how are you?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Krieger. And then I'll go to Ed.
Okay, yeah, my experience. Okay, my experience with the crypto is very limited. They're clearly, they have a plan in place with what they want to do with that money. They think it could be untraceable. I understand why they're doing it, but you talked about the sophistication of the
Victor, how you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well, Victor.
Really jive with the sophistication of asking for crypto in different amounts.
Well, they're going back and forth, guys. The panel, no disrespect. I'm going to lower them down a little bit. I got to be careful with the copyrights too much when showing, hands on ground with the news and everything. But right now, it looks like we're going to go over a few things. TMZ gets the third email of Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. We listened to it. We listened to Harvey. I still think it's all bogus. I mean, I think they're getting it, but I think it's just somebody throwing us off. And I just spoke a little while ago. It just hit my head, but what do I know? Sounds like to me that it's somebody who's a very, very smart person, and somebody who knew the family, somebody who studied this for a couple, I'm going to say months. I think they put this together for months. This is not amateurs. I know it looks like an amateur thing, and they're going to see how long they can get away with it. I think they'll eventually get caught. Meanwhile, we have, aside from the new email, we got the DNA back, and they're pretty much, well, not pretty much, they're ruling out the family. They're ruling out the immediate family, or probably all the family, of this kidnapping. Now, well, as far as the blood and the glove, oh, the gloves, the DNA from the gloves. Excuse me, guys. I'm reading some stuff here. The gloves. There's 2 gloves, one in the house, somewhere in the house. We're not sure where it was, and one outside. And sure, we have the reward is $100,000. Now, I put that photo in color. I got a lot of response, so thank you so much for all the response. There's some who still feel that it's a woman, but the majority of the comments on my post said he was a Latino, like a Puerto Rican or Mexican or Venezuela. If you haven't looked at it, it's actually on my thumbnail right now. So they never gave the race. They just gave out the height and the description and then the build, average build. Hold on, guys. My message is coming in here. See what I got here. And that's where we're at on this Friday the 13th, folks. Friday the 13th, and the SWAT is on a location. Could this be a big, huge break on Friday the 13th? On Friday the 13th and get Spence. But you heard what he said, though, one of the panels. I know you guys are chatting among each other. You heard what I think it was this guy here. He said something that was very interesting. He said if they had the SWAT team had the suspect or had that location, they would already barricade and went in and, boom, and went in and did all that. So interesting. He's right. They wouldn't just wait for the media all to get caught up, guys. It doesn't work that way. It's not a movie. So it makes me think on what he just said. Well, not just what he said. It also makes me think this. It makes me think that that I believe they're just being cautious. Maybe they got a lead or something. Hold on, let me just turn the camera around a little bit. I don't want to keep showing the news. It could just be that they got a tip. Maybe they got a tip from somebody out there, not from the ransom. Maybe they got a tip from somebody who looked like the suspect. And the SWAT team decided, hey, let's go. Like they did with that Carlos. Let's go there. Let's watch. I see SWAT team where I work at about a year ago, and they were there the whole day, and they were looking for a alleged somebody who raped or something. And they were there the whole day, and it was like around 10 o'clock at night. Boom, they stormed in. So maybe they're just watching. Maybe they feel like, okay, let's see. This is the right location. Let's see if they're stupid enough. And, they're not going to be, SWAT team's not going to be right there. SWAT team normally will stay across the street. SWAT team will go a distance. They're not going to stay in that exact area. And then News Nation, he found that location, but he's not in that location either. So, but it could be this could be a big break. What do you think? You think we have a big break tonight on this Friday the 13th, or will it just come out to be an empty building, empty house, old supermarket? We don't even know. And we shouldn't know. I'm making it sound like we should know. We shouldn't know because we don't want them to know. Them meaning the suspects. All right, I think it's time to read some comments here. Yeah, let's hope this could end tonight. I gotta close my door. People talking in the background, I apologize. Let's see here. I think one of the family members collaborated with the kidnappers. Yeah. You know, that's a possibility. It really is. Let's see here. And Harvey just loves all the attention. Now he's on Fox News. Well, sure. Bondi 45. And by the way, Bondi, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Great comments. Absolutely. I'm not going to disagree with you. But at the same time, yes, I would just say, I also think he has a heart and he hopes that they can all figure it out. I'm sure he wants his team, TMZ, to figure it out. They're not going to figure it out. But, you know, I just will say this. Nobody wants a letter to go to a news station, TMZ. I mean, I wouldn't want a letter like that. Have to be involved in this stuff, but that's me. But yeah. As far as the, just my take, guys. Again, we have 484 on here right now. We had a little bit more before. If I ask 646, if I ask 646 of us in here right now, who it is, you're going to get probably cut in half. And then if I say, is that, for an example, Tommaso, if I said who is Tommaso, probably half would say yes. Then if I said, is it Tommaso and the wife, then that'll be cut in half. And then if I said, is it Tommaso and maybe a student, or he hired a hitman, that's going to be all over the place. And it's just so bizarre. Meanwhile, it looks like we have a move here on the local media here. It looks like they're all following each other. Fox is still lost. CNN is still lost.
How far is that from here?
They still can't find SWAT.
Yeah, that's where we came from. I lost I was live earlier, and then I lost my stream because we were in like some remote road.
There could be multiple locations that they're going after.
Yeah.
It seems like a smart thing if they're gonna. There's not just one location. There could be two.
That's true if there's more than one person.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. You too. Take care. Nice meeting you. Be safe. Thank you.
All right, so
I got the message, Tanya.
He has a scanner, and they're saying it according to. Oh, I'm sorry about that, guys. I know that drives me nuts when I watch live. My thumb. It sounds like to me that that they're getting different locations to throw them off somehow, but News Nation's in the right location, so I don't know. They're probably just not getting the right information. They, meaning the Fox, CNN, they're all like not in the right spot. They might be close. If you're just coming in, what the hell am I talking about? Well, we're covering Nancy Guthrie. SWAT team is at a location that none of us know where, except for News Nation. How's News Nation know? They got lucky. Maybe they followed, they were in that, who knows? Regardless, News Nation's in the location, not on the exact location. SWAT is on scene. They're looking, what the hell's going on? They probably got a tip leading to a building, old broken down warehouse. I don't know. Maybe a home, maybe it's in a residential, somewhere. It was a tip that they're going to look into very closely. A tip that they're getting in 8,000 tips a day. But this tip, they're taking it serious. But again, this whole thing's been like ups and downs. I mean, we were live last week or a couple days ago, and we thought that this was going to be solved. And I just can't remember anything like this. Media from everywhere. There's people from Australia because Savannah is from Australia. All right, they're showing some other. Never mind. I don't want to cover that. I was going to cover. I had plans to cover in this story they're talking about, but we'll have to wait another day for that. The Don Lemon situation. All right, let's continue. Emily, good to see you tonight. Welcome in. No other evidence but the gloves came back. The DNA came back and they're rolling out the family. And I guess as well, not only they're rolling out the family as far as the DNA on the gloves, they're rolling out everybody. The pool guy, Uber driver, whoever, Amazon, mail. Oh, and then I was reading comments about you guys saying, or somebody said about the pool, draining the pool. Excuse me, having the pool guy clean the pool. I'm half and half on that. You know, the family wants to keep the house going. You know, I'm sure they. I have no problem with that. I have no problem if a sheriff is going to go back there and let the pool guy put some chemicals in the pool, clean the filters, stay on them. I'm okay with that. You know, the family wants to look. The family's hoping, they're praying, hoping that Nancy is found. It'd be a great story, and hoping that she'll go back and have her rest of her life in her pool in her backyard when she goes. So I have no problem. What I do have a problem of is having the pizza guy go right up to the door, having the local media and not like shuffling them across the street, moving them around so they can check that area and then putting them back to do their coverage. I also have a problem why that house wasn't yellow taped from the beginning to now. Yellow tape, you know, you need a pool guy, let the pool guy comes over. If you need a family member needs to come over there for photos to show the FBI, walk the family member in, but otherwise nobody else should be on that property because it is a crime scene. You got to think about this too, guys. There's been tires and people driving into that driveway. You know, they're walking on the blood. I mean, that's all evidence. So, I don't know. It's been kind of sloppy. Very sloppy. Beyond sloppy. They're still driving around, guys. Look at this. You can't make this up. It's the blind leading the blind here. They're going around in circles.
See, when you put on SWAT, like literally, like you put SWAT, Guthrie in Twitter, and no one else is really. I mean, it's just they're talking about it. They're saying SWAT is related to Nancy Guthrie. That's it. We haven't seen any activity.
Oh, the Daily Mail is lost too. I didn't hear that. Wow.
Location.
Daily Mail is lost too. Oops. Anyhow. Oh, he's trying. You know, they're trying. Everybody wants to so his scanner, I think his name is Nick. And I would like everybody to subscribe to his channel. I just can't remember his last name. Anyhow, he's doing a good job helping out JLR Investigates. They have a scanner with them. I'm just not sure that the SWAT and the local police department want the media there. I think that News Nation got lucky. Obvious News Nation got lucky. They probably don't want news there for a number of reasons. So they're going to go ahead and mention different address. They can do whatever the hell they want. They can do whatever the hell they want.
What's going on? I don't know. Pretty crazy out here.
All right, lower that down. All right. Well, I think it's time to read some comments here. Good time to read comments. Nothing is moving. Alexander, God bless you. Thank you. Sharing that. All right, it's time for water. And it might be time for you guys to get a drink. Water, coffee, decaf. Sit back, guys. It could be a moments away or it could be a little longer. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for being here from the beginning. Appreciate all the moderators once again. If you're just coming in and been following the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping, it's been 13 days now. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. They got some leads that the SWAT is in a spot, but nobody knows that location but Newsmax or News Nation, and that's where we are at. And once again, I'm repeating myself because there's viewers that are coming in and out, and they got the glove DNA back, and they ruled out the family, the immediate family, mostly all the family out of it. Then and also there's not a suspect, but SWAT teams at a location. So they're being very careful. We watched the sheriff an hour and a half ago on what they're saying to the media. Who knows? Maybe there was DNA back. Maybe there wasn't a tip. I'm saying that. So thank you, Michael. Maybe the DNA came back on that glove and it came to be the milkman. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's somebody this is a DNA. Let's go. Or maybe not. So in any case, that's where we're at. And we all are hoping that this is not going to be one of those cold cases. And I hope she's okay too. Your FBI. Yeah, just be careful, guys. I mean, I don't care. I'm going to treat that one comment about the FBI as a, you're being funny, but be very careful. When you're dealing with a kidnap case and you say those words, just be careful on what you say on that. I realize you're just joking. So it's pitch black. You can see there's no street lights here. No street lights at all. Look how dark. It just gives you a little indication. It's raining tonight. And what are we watching? Well, we're watching JLR Investigates. He has a pretty big YouTube channel. He does a great job. He has been driving around and supposedly with other media, like I heard earlier, he's seen Fox and CNN, maybe other YouTubers and Facebook and people who are involved in this and showing their viewers like we're showing here. And they're kind of like driving around in circles is what I'm seeing. But it is rainy. It's dark. No street lights. And it's just hoping to get closer and closer. Appreciate the membership. Thank you for the memberships. We welcome. Thank you. Then got Be Princess. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the members. And that's what we have going on there. Thank you, my friend. And once again, all the memberships, guys, what this channel is actually about. We help out the less fortunate and the homeless population here in Las Vegas. So you'll make sure that your donations and members and your likes will 100% go out and to the homeless people who are out there again today, and helping out people that are struggling on the streets. But thank you for your support. Right now, there's nothing on News Nation. They moved ahead. They're moving along with their next subject, and we're just waiting. We'll stay live a little longer. I'll stay live a little longer until they either say SWAT has left or we hear anything different from it. My phone is charged, so we don't have to worry about that. Be free to comment and chat among each other, guys. Just use a little common sense, kind of be respectful, no threats or anything like that. Oh, he's moving again. He's moving. Let's see. Let's see. I'll put some volume on here. Oh, what the hell happened? What the hell did I just do? Okay. I did not. Did you see that Nancy wanted the camera to watch? I did not.
Wait.
So we're all waiting.
He's got more quiet out here.
So it looks like there's, it's hard to tell, guys. I know there's a glare from my phone to the,
If you were injured in an accident, why would you call anyone but the Richard Harris Law Firm? We fight for the largest possible settlement in every case.
it looks like there's like 1, 2,
So I'm getting tips as
3, 4.
All right, well, just if they do it, just.
Oh, she posted it in 2021 on the neighborhood app. You know, now that you said it like that, I might have heard it on JLR or somebody, and then I just. But thanks for once again, thanks for the membership, and thanks for bringing the audience up to date on that. Hey, Crystal, how are you? Good to see you.
All right. Thank you. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Thanks for all your help. Thank you.
Little chicken soup to the mom. Got to take care of the mom. That's all important stuff,
Three
guys.
Choppers circling Pinal Air Park. Pinal Air Park is also where a military base is.
that's up there on the left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've been doing that for
Yeah, that's training.
just training. Like I've been seeing that for weeks, like 5 or 6 of them. But, you know, always wondering, hey.
Bizarre, because it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 media all in this location thinking that the SWAT team, and it could be that they're in the right location and SWAT is around here. So there's got to be a reason that they're all parked here. She also posted, I'm reading this, man, we're stealing packages. I don't know when that was posted. Is that right? I would think that the FBI is, digesting it. And I also heard, Princess, I also heard today, I think it was from, it might have been Fox or CNN, I can't remember. I was driving to work, that they, were looking at a neighbor. They didn't rule a neighbor out. But then again, guys, stuff goes out there and then all it takes is a reporter. They hear something, get things mixed up. But I heard they were keeping eyes on a neighbor that lived close by. Did anybody hear that? I didn't want to bring it up, but we're talking here. I mean, they didn't say what neighbor. But it seems like everybody's convinced that they're in this area. When I say this area and Tucson, Arizona, they're pretty convinced that it's all happening in that neighborhood of Tucson, Arizona. Yeah, they were keeping eyes on the neighbor, but I never heard anything else about it. I didn't hear JLR talk about it or anybody else. I think it was Fox. Yeah, so I'm glad you brought the Walmart up. I'm going to turn the camera around here real quick. Whoops. Be very careful here. Okay, so it's a good time to talk here. They're just sitting in the car doing what we're doing and waiting. Shout out to JLR and Fox and all of them. Seems like they might either be in a similar location, but if you're just coming in like Crystal, what is new? Well, we know there's SWAT on location. And it seems like JLR and the media were driving around, assuming it was the right location. It probably wasn't the right location. They look like they're sitting in a residential neighborhood, upper middle class, looking at the house at night. It seems like to me, News Nation reporter was confident he was in the right spot, or at least he thinks he is, and did not want to say anything, which he shouldn't. And that's where we're at. Now, real quick, DNA came back. We know that the family's DNA was not on that glove. So they're moving forward on that. We heard the sheriff talk. He was mumbling a lot of stuff. I think when people mumble a lot of stuff, it's almost like they feel bad that they messed things up. I'm not saying the sheriff should be fired, but he's definitely fumbled the ball way too many times. And in addition to that, you know, of course, we know it's a male, 100% a male who did this. On my post, my community post, guys, check out the community post, guys. I'm always updating. Like when we're on a topic, I'll update some things. Also, I'll put out some funny things just to kind of keep everybody, you know, up to date. I'll put some homeless. So make sure you check out the post. And you can also post something on there. It's totally free. You can post something, particularly with this topic. But in color, like the thumbnail, a lot of people think it's a Latino. They say it could be Puerto Rican, he could be Mexican, he could be Venezuela. Nonetheless, it is a man who's in that height range of 5'9" to 5'10". As my dog just came in the room. Let's see what the hell's going on. He's probably saying, how come you're not paying attention to me? What's going on with all these lives? Come pet me. Come give me some love. So I'm going to be giving my dog some love soon. But that's where we're at for those who are coming in. I wish there was more. We're waiting for SWAT team to either barricade and, you know, go in there, or they might just be watching for suspects to go around that area. And again, I would assume that SWAT is not even in that location. They might be 2 blocks away looking. And that's about it. We also cover what my thoughts are. And a third letter went to TMZ. We heard Harvey Levin talk. A third email. Be nice to Harvey. Harvey looks exhausted. Yeah. Oh, I haven't been mean to Harvey, have I? Oh, you're talking about somebody else? No, Harvey's, I mean, look, you know, I'm sure he, again, guys, I say this again. You know, he didn't want this to land on his desk. Let me read a comment here from our member here. The TMZ said the jacket is, so I thought it was, what are you saying? The jacket's a what? Arrow hex, but the picture they put up, cuff and the button don't match. The 2 photos that Harvey had, Levin, of that. What the? Oh yeah. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Look, folks, they got the best of the best analyzing that jacket. You know, they you know, I guess the good news is they got the backpack. They pretty much got the backpack. The Ozark Trail Hiker backpack. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. Somebody brought up about the cameras in Walmart. Yes, I think the cameras are probably watching every vehicle that went in this Walmart. Here's the complicated thing, though, guys, if it wasn't ordered online. The complicated thing is, when was that bought? Was that bought Christmas time? Was it bought Thanksgiving? Was it bought in October? You know, how far? I mean, they got to go back. Or was it bought January 29th or January 30th, the day before the kidnapping, before it was turned in? I mean, they got to go back and look at receipts. Was it, so they'll go back to every backpack. First, what they'll do is go all backpacks, school backpacks, just in case. And then they'll go to the Ozark, and then they'll just hit all those Walmarts in that area, because everybody assumes that's where he got it at that Walmart. I think the guy bought for the reason. I think these people who did it have been working on this for months. This wasn't something planned a night before, a week before, or even a month before. I know I said a month last night. I think it's been months. And I also think there's more than one person, maybe even 3. I wouldn't let my mother, 84-year-old mother, live alone. No, I mean, but again, though, she was 84 years old, but apparently she was able to walk. My mom, who recently died, she couldn't walk. She had heart problems. She had a caregiver. We have her care 24 hours. But, you know, if the lady was able to, what's going on, Max, was able to walk and her mind seemed to be okay, you know, maybe she's, you know, there's some 84-year-olds who don't age, you know, they feel like they're 70 or even 60. So it's hard to say. I know what you're saying. And also they live relatively close by. They live close by to the mom. Annie lived pretty close by, a couple miles. So, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough when these things happen. We can say, why not this? Why not this? Why didn't she have, you know, more cameras? And speaking of cameras, I'm bringing up cameras is this. So what I'm hearing is all these homes in that area, majority of them all had cameras. The only problem is these homes, these $1 million homes, $2 million home, $4 million homes, they didn't live right near the street, like in my neighborhood. You have a home, a little front yard, and a street. Over there's a home, a little longer driveway, not like the driveways in New Jersey, where I'm from. New Jersey has these long driveways, but they have these. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let's go back. We got a report.
With the FBI in this, and we also learned that they found DNA and have sent it off for testing.
We found DNA and we eliminated some people, yes. And yes, it's significant when we find somebody that certainly matches that for sure. We have no match. I don't know how, there's a lot of work to do with DNA. The DNA we worked with was the DNA from that house that morning we went out and processed that crime scene.
That was earlier, guys.
Why are we only hearing about it now? I want to talk about that and where it's being sent.
I want to hear this.
News Nation's Brian Anthony's going to join us in a moment live from Tucson. We also have former Assistant Director of the FBI, Chris Swecker. We have retired NYPD Special Operations Officer Jillian Snyder. And by the way, we have a lot more happening on this hour. We got National Review reporter Audrey Fahlberg, former Democratic advisor Dan Turrentine, Republican consultant Matt Whitlock, and the week in Trump.
What I was going to say, guys, I want to hear that reporter. I want to hear that report. What I was saying is, the driveways are not real long driveways, but they're a little long. Well, my point is this, real quick. The homes all sit back, and they have a lot of these trees and stuff like that. So even when they had cameras, the chances of that camera identifying a person is like a nail in a haystack. However, possible somebody had a good camera and picked up a light of a car. Now you're saying, Sal, you smoke too many cigars. What the hell does a light do? Well, I'm hearing today from Google that there's a possibility, you know, Google, who shows your house, how much it's worth, this and that. If they can kind of look at those lights of a tail light at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever, I think it was 2:30 something, and then maybe like another quarter mile away, pick up that similar kind of light of a car. And perhaps Google at night can pick up. There's a lot, you know, they can get on that. But again, we haven't heard anything on that. Oh, here we go. He's back. This is live.
Now, when you look at the man in that original video, many people are speculating he might have a goatee.
They're talking about a goatee. Sorry.
They can actually recognize underneath these ski masks.
Do you think that guy has a goatee? Does he have a goatee? How the hell can you tell? I mean, where's my color video?
From Walmart that you see right there, and TMZ reporting that they received a third letter.
Wow, look at the rain, guys. It's raining there. Look at the rain. Holy shit, it's raining in Arizona.
SWAT could be coming in here, folks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If Enton's at the right location, maybe it's here, maybe it's not. We'll see. If Enton's at the right location, we're at the right one. Enton's the goat. Enton's the goat. If Enton's with them and it's a whole different area.
So where you're carefully, but you just need to clarify something. Covered DNA.
Well, a lot of rain.
Sorry, messages are coming in fast and furious. I'm missing. Thank you for the super chat.
From the month before Guthrie vanished on February 1st, the FBI has doubled down its reward, now offering $100,000 for information leading to Nancy's location or an arrest. And the FBI releasing these images captured on Nancy's doorbell camera.
All right.
They suspect the suspect is a man approximately 5'9", 5'10", average build. This is important, carrying an Ozark Trail hiker backpack.
Ozark.
We'll talk about that. Still no name. I gotta start with our coverage. News Nation's Brian Enton live.
All right, let's hear this.
On the ground. Brian, okay, so last time I saw you,
he's leaving.
We were talking about whether or not a SWAT team has been mobilized, if they're staging. What are you seeing on the ground right now?
Yeah, so they have been mobilized, Jesse, and they are staging, and we don't know what that means. It could mean absolutely nothing. I was telling Chris that earlier. I mean, they've staged other nights, and we don't know if it means they're just getting ready about the possibility of something that may happen tonight and they just want to be ready, or if something is actually planned. We don't know, Jesse, but we're keeping an eye on it.
Okay, and by the way, you and I were live the other night. We saw activity. I don't know if we're going to see the same thing happen again, where somebody was detained and then released. But again, we're going to be live and see what happens. Before I let you go,
no, he's right there.
Brian, I want you to drive carefully. Not only are you doing this, but you also got the windshield wipers going. So I want you to drive carefully. But I just need to clarify something. When they say they recovered DNA, is it that they recovered it day one of the search and we're only now learning about it today? Or did they recover it recently, which makes me wonder why? Because I thought the initial report was they didn't find any forensic material linking back to anybody when they did an initial search.
Yeah, it's a really good question, and we know the FBI went back and did that second search days later. I don't know which search they did where their DNA came from, but to me it is a bombshell that they found DNA that is not Nancy Guthrie's and is not anyone connected to her. That could very well be the suspect's DNA, and to me that's the second biggest development since this whole thing started. First we had the surveillance pictures, which were huge, and then we had the this DNA that was collected, which could really be a bombshell, Jesse.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, we're going to stay on top of it. Brian, stand by. I want to bring on Chris Swecker, Jillian Snyder to talk about this. Chris, I'll start with you. So obviously, the presence of DNA in any criminal investigation is huge. I have a few questions. Do you think they found this DNA and there was something about it that made them think that it could be connected to the case? Because look, let's say she had people working in her house, she had contractors, people visiting, I don't know. Is it that we just found some DNA, we're going to see if it matters, or is it the idea of there's something specific about where this DNA was found? This is the reason it's collected and being tested.
I'll tell you, it's really hard to tell with that sheriff. He misspeaks quite a bit, so I'm not sure what he really meant. He said it in a very general sort of way. We eliminated some people as it being their DNA. And then I've heard this reported very differently coming out from that, but those were his words. I've heard it reported that, the whole family member has been eliminated as the source of the DNA. So I'm not sure what it means, to be honest with you. It could mean that they had DNA that is just foreign DNA. It's not from someone that lives in that house. So but it could be very significant. I'm not diminishing that, but if it is in fact a foreign DNA sample, if you will, then that ought to be up there at CODIS right now at the FBI's.
So you make a good point, and I want
through that.
Let me ask you about that. And Jillian, stand by, because I want to ask you about the other suspects here, or people that haven't been cleared. My understanding is that the gloves were sent to this private lab that, according to USA Today, you cannot directly upload it to CODIS. Now, if that is true, that feels bad. That feels like, why wasn't it sent to Quantico? But you tell me, when you have the Pima County Sheriff's Office saying
13 days.
The FBI greenlit this. They approved this. I guess I'm a little confused.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on that too.
Yeah, again, the sheriff doesn't speak in specifics, and he's had to walk back a lot of the things that he has said. But we do know. I think it's pretty clear this sample went to a private lab that you're right, can't upload directly into CODIS. They have to do it indirectly. So it doesn't make any sense. It would make sense if if time was of the essence and they gathered it in the morning and they shot it off real quick to their lab because the FBI hadn't showed up yet.
Right.
You're welcome, Tinkin Pocket.
Let it sit.
You're welcome.
It's a day 2 or day 3 type of thing. That's a leadership thing. The leaders,
right.
The FBI SAC, the special agent in charge, and the sheriff had to sit down and work through the specifics of who's going to be in the lead and where the evidence is going to go. That's,
A lot of rain.
That's 101. I mean, I feel like there's some inexperience in play here.
So, Jillian, I want to give you the floor here, and you tell me what you think is happening behind the scenes, because I see multiple options here. They're looking at the surveillance footage. Now they're trying to identify the specific items that was worn by this suspect. I imagine they're going to be looking at payment receipts, purchase histories from, I don't know, nearby Walmarts. They're saying they haven't basically ruled anybody out. You have the DNA. What is going on behind the scenes to connect all the dots?
What's going on behind the scenes?
So looking at it from the local law enforcement perspective, because again, we know that the FBI is working in conjunction with Pima County, I feel like all of what we're learning is like several days late. We're not seeing what they're seeing in real time. They are withholding information, obviously, for protection and integrity of the investigation. But I have a lot of concerns with the exclusionary DNA, what they're talking about today, which you were just literally mentioning. That should have been done like a week and a half ago. Technically, when we have even local law enforcement,
This lady's correct.
Capacity to take DNA and evidence collection, we can eliminate people by day 2. We're not doing it by day 13 and saying like, oh, it's not Nancy's, it's not the family's, it's someone else's. So I just feel like there's a lot of delay in what local law enforcement is doing.
She's right.
But on top of everything else, looking at the gloves and the backpack, all of this stuff like we're learning now. But local law enforcement, yes, they're the lead, but they really need to rely on the FBI for capacity and resources. And we're not seeing that.
I want to play something real quick. This is the sheriff on Vargas where he said no one is eliminated. I just want your perspective on this, Jillian, on the other side. Let's just play this real quick.
Have you completely eliminated any member of the Guthrie family?
I will say this. I don't believe you eliminate anybody ever. You can't really ever eliminate anybody. What we do is we chase that lead down to an end and go, is this, are we satisfied? My heart goes out to them. Have they been eliminated? Like I say, nobody's ever eliminated until we find who we're looking for.
So, Jillian, is that standard, or is there something they say, look, whoever we find, we don't know if they have a connection to the family or a family friend?
So what he's saying is basically they don't know who it is. Like they have no idea, literally at all. DNA can exclude people from investigatory or forensic evidence, but again, we know that they've been questioning the family, questioning acquaintances of the family. And generally, if you have someone that has any behavioral science background, they could typically exclude someone just based on their interactions with people.
Right.
So I think right now he's just not prepared to say and not confident in his answers.
Yeah. And let me just say, from a legal point of view, I have a lot of issues with chain of custody, contamination of crime scene, because even if they make an arrest, can they actually successfully prosecute somebody? Jillian Snyder, Chris Swecker, thank you both. Well, actually, Chris is going to stay with us. Jillian, thank you. I appreciate it. But Chris, stay with us. Okay, so we have more of this of our breaking news coverage out of Tucson when we come back. Stay with us.
All right, they're going to take a break, so we're going to talk a little bit. By the way, JLR and some of the other news media, it looks like there's 2 there, hoping that they're in the right location to cover the SWAT team. But you know what, guys? Okay. Okay, so it looked like to me that Newsmax, we looked, I guess his name's Brian from Newsmax. Look, they're all doing good jobs, guys. It's not easy doing this kind of stuff, you know, when they're right there. It looks like to me that he was driving slow speed, and it looks like to me that he was leaving that location. So it could be that, how do I put this? They're not competing. But it looks like maybe possible that JLR and Fox and CNN were on the right location. I don't know. Or maybe he was just driving because they keep showing that camera of his camera and maybe they're giving away that location. Stay with me if you could, guys. And the suspects are watching this and it could lead to that. Because, you know, I was looking like you guys were, I'm sure. I have a little bit of advantage because I'm right in front of the TV, but hopefully you guys can I'm trying my best, guys, to show you, but it looked like you can almost pick up like a street. And if I can see that, I don't know where Cousin Vinny is, but if I can see that, then they're watching it. Well, how are they watching it? They're watching on the phone. They're going to find it. I don't know. But these people are smart. And yes, they're a step ahead. They are a step ahead of the authorities. But anyhow, I think he was maybe he was leaving the location to go to another location. Once again, if you're just coming in, Vinny did not do it. It's getting late, guys. We got to have a little sense of humor. And when you see me laugh, and I am not laughing at this case. I'm just saying, I am laughing on how sloppy and how they fumbled it. But, as it gets late, we're going to have fun with Vinny. But yeah, it could very well he's in the wrong spot or he wanted to go to another spot. But what do we know? SWAT is on a location. Are they going to go in this hour? Will it not happen at all? Are they just watching somebody? We don't know. So I'll stay live a little longer. I was hoping, like most of us on here are all hoping, that they would have a location. And I think a lot of us were expecting at least a location and then maybe a search on the person. I think a lot of us were hoping that, right? Maybe not Nancy's body, big thing would have Nancy alive, but I think a lot of us were hoping, and it turned out to be at the moment, nothing. As soon as I go off the air, watch. I'll go off the air and then, that would be great. Off the air, on the air, find this, bring some closure to the family. All right, let me jump into some comments here. Hey, once again, speaking of an audience, thank you once again, all the moderators and Heavy Hook, to Mike, to Janine, to Crystal. We had Don't Peek in earlier. We appreciate everything you guys do and the memberships. Our newest member who just came on board, Then Got Princess. Appreciate you and everybody who supports this channel and keeping up with this. We've been following this very closely. So bizarre in so many ways. So very bizarre. And I'll say this, I haven't said it tonight, but I'm going to say it. I've said it last night. I know people are going to come on here. A lot of people haven't been following it and confused, but a lot of people are going to say, why is this getting so much attention? Well, Savannah was a reporter, and she worked for NBC. She was a very good reporter. And I know a lot of people are saying, as we're in 13 days, Friday the 13th, well, if it was my mom, if it was my stepmom, or it was my aunt or my wife on Valentine's Day, we wouldn't hear anything about it. It would only be maybe on the local news channel. And to everyone on that, what I just said, you are right. But nonetheless, this 84-year-old woman did not ask to be kidnapped from her own home after coming home from a dinner with her daughter and her son-in-law. She expected to go home, relax, kick back, watch a TV show. Maybe she went on YouTube, whatever, have her late night tea or water, whatever she did, go to sleep, wake up in the middle of the night, have her routine and go on and live another 5, 10, 15, 30 year plus, it's sad, very sad. This woman had nothing to do with it. I'm 100% sure that this 84-year-old woman had nothing to do with this, but I am not ruling out a family member at all. I'm going to stick to it. I still, to this day, till they can rule him out 100%, Tommaso. Now, all they ruled out is his DNA. Their DNA, the family is not on that glove. That didn't rule him out as a suspect. That did not rule him out as a suspect, Heavy Hook, right? All did rule him out that their DNA is not on the glove. So, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not giving these pieces of shit credit. They're pieces of shit, and who does this kind of stuff? But they're pretty damn good. And for those who think they're not good and say, well, how could they be good? They fooled around with the plants and all that. They would have been caught. If they were amateurs, they would have been caught in that hour, that night, the day after, 2 days. These people are pros, and they're working together. One, it certainly has the brains. Maybe both have the brains. Both can have the brains. Could be somebody young, could be somebody older. We know it's a male, could be a female together with the male. All we know is one male on that photos that we're seeing. Hello, Carmen. So, my temper gets, I get my blood pressure up a little bit because it eats me up. We start thinking of our, family and stuff. So, and you're not missing anything here. They're just showing the same stuff, Harvey. It's live, but they're just going back and playing stuff that most of us heard already. And then I'll just take you over here. You're not missing much with JLR, who does a fantastic job. He's sitting in the car in the rain with some of the other media, hoping that they can get SWAT on the location. Whoops, and break the case. As soon as I go there, I get the.
Mostly. At my last job, we used this tool called
I can't show his ads.
Squat. Wait.
All right. Hey, Tony, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, he does a good job. He has a lot of energy behind it. I just didn't want to show his ads on mine. But he's just sitting in the car with some of the other media. It looks like they're going around. And they're all hoping that they can be, right there and end this once and for all and get some justice to the family. Hold on one second. Let me see, guys.
Now, I'm not saying they're not going to look at it. The FBI will take a hard look at it, but it's they have a line for a purpose.
You won't see that no more. The hat's in the closet.
I'm afraid when you give them airtime on TMZ or any other channel when they come directly through the media, then that's why they're doing it. They're trying to get themselves some airtime.
Oh, read that comment there. The poll company, and I quote, said that they never had a client at that address. Yeah, more bizarre, more bizarre, as all of us are watching and hearing news outlets. Fox in Illinois saying the sheriff found many gloves of Nancy Tar 9208. Whoa, so weird case, absolutely. Lorraine, how you doing tonight? Redhead Gamer, how are you? I don't know, Heavy Hook. Good point. They're just sitting in the car doing what we're doing. He's speaking to his subscribers, and they're doing what we're doing and hoping for the best. And then TMZ's just sharing with the panel. And what's going on in Delaware? Now, speaking of Delaware, never mind. We're not going to bring that up. All right. I was going to bring something up that happened a long time ago where people got me confused. Lorraine, I don't know if you know that. You see my last name. It's there. It's public. But there was a lawyer many, many years ago where they had me involved in this alleged crime. And, so it just goes to show you how sometimes the FBI rushes sometimes into the situation. Of course, back then they didn't have AI and the stuff that we have now. All right. Yeah, exactly, Kristen. Good point. Hold on, guys. I gotta turn his volume down because it's all right. Sorry about that. All right. Don, how are you, Don? We're all praying. People don't even, from everywhere, worldwide, are praying for this bizarre kidnapping, whoever would do this. And there's comments on here and everywhere on previous lives and JR and other news outlets, everybody, including the sheriff, the former detectives, former FBI agents, my friend of mine who's an FBI, he told me something today, kind of blew my mind. So all kinds of, you would think in 2026, with all our brain power, our youth, and everything with AI and our DNA and CSI, you would think that they would have found this person the next day. No? But here we are 13 days later, going on 14 real soon. The new note to TMZ said it was international. I think, yeah, they said something about international is what Harvey said. Yeah. It could be international. I mean, my wife seems to think that we go back and forth. I disagree, but she seems to think they're in Mexico somewhere. So again, there's no right or wrong. I don't think so. I think they're in that area. I think they're still in Tucson, Arizona. I think they're very, very close to that location. But they're playing all of us. They're playing the FBI. They certainly played that sheriff. They're playing the sheriff department, the detectives, Kash Patel, all of us, the media. Everybody thinks they have the suspect, and that's fine. Our minds we should think outside the box, but in my opinion, we don't want to go too far outside the box. It would just end up driving us crazy, you know what I mean, with the Clintons. And it's not about politics. I'm just saying, if we go too far out the box, I've heard people saying it's Epstein. It has something to do with Epstein and all this stuff. I think we need to stick with the person is missing. Look at the family very closely, because more times than none, it is the family or the immediate family or a distant relative or a cousin. You always got to keep that real close. And then look at that neighborhood all the way down, the whole neighborhood, a mile or two. Get all that video. I don't care if it's a car light, and follow that car light to the next video. Continue with the Walmart. I wouldn't even give up on Walmart. I would check the targets as well, right? I would tell my people, sorry, you signed up to be an FBI, you signed up to be a detective, you're not sleeping more than 6 hours. You get 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, that's it. Next team, be ready. You're eating protein bars and drinking water and coffee and Red Bulls, and you're staying on this case. Seriously, guys, till you solve this case. And I would have a press conference. Not because we all want to hear it, but they should be a huge press conference. I think it would help. Because when you have a press conference, yes, indeed, that these people are watching from some satellite disc or some phone somewhere that they're not picking up any IP or anything or ping. Who knows what they'll do if they have a press conference? Why don't they have a psychologist go on there and saying, we just don't know. We're pretty confident that he's not even in this location. He's in New Mexico. Make something up. Use your mind. Make something up. We heard he's in Las Vegas. Can you believe it? And then, boom, they bite on it. If I can think of that, why can't they think of that? Have somebody good with a suit and a tie on there looking at the camera. Yeah, unfortunately, our leads are now saying they're not in the Tucson, Arizona area. Who cares what the media thinks? Who cares if we call them out? Let's see if they bite. Let's see if another ransom note goes out. Maybe a ransom note goes to the police department. Oh, we're in Vegas. That tells you they're listening. Play them. They're playing us. Play them back. Play them. Play the game. Because these people know what the hell they're doing. These people know what the hell they're doing. Who the hell picks up some damn plants and rub it against the camera? I don't buy that what they said. Oh, that backpack was full. You mean to tell me that wasn't nobody? That wasn't a 14-year-old. This wasn't somebody slow. No disrespect. You know what I mean? This wasn't anybody who had some. We'll leave it at that, right? This was somebody who knew what the hell they were doing. He wanted to look comfortable. He wanted to look comfortable. He wanted to look comfortable to throw us all off. And since I'm reading comments about Bitcoin, I'll say this one last time. They had no intentions of getting paid. They know they're not going to get paid. It got dark there because they were changing commercial. Let's take one more look here. We'll take one last look here at JLR. He's sitting there.
FBI's been saying he hasn't been playing ball and has slowed down the investigation. Today it was damage control.
Is there any sound? I don't show it muted. Can you guys hear? Is there any
Cindy,
sound?
how are you? Yeah, you have sound, my friend. Let me just throw him a comment that they have sound here. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Oh, that's the other YouTuber guy with him. I don't know his channel. All right. All right. I say hello to Cindy, Lorraine. Tommaso drove her home. That's what we're leading. That's what the sheriff said. And then he changed it and said family member. Let's just say Tommaso took her home. It was him who took her home. Right? Mrs. Thornton, 88, welcome in. Thank you for your comment. Interesting. Reading it. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on Tommaso. That guy, if I'm an FBI agent, all eyes are on Tommaso. I'm following that guy to his bathroom. I'm looking at Tommaso everywhere. I'm looking at him getting the mail. I'm watching him when he sleeps. I'm watching him when he goes to eat. I'm also watching Annie. I'm watching her because I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to be really hard. A lot of people here are going to get pissed off. They were not married 1 year or 2 years. You're married 20 years plus. You pretty much know your partner. You might not know every detail. We all have a little secrets, right? Little tiny secrets, right? But come on. So all eyes are on Tommaso. All eyes are on Annie at this point. And if I'm wrong, when I say I'm wrong, if I'm the police and I'm wrong, oh well, I'm wrong. So what? We're keeping our eyes on all of them. Eyes on Tommaso, 100%. Eyes on Annie and Tommaso. Let me lower that. All right, I'm going to read. I have seen a pic. I looked at his eyes. I'm going to look more tonight. Looks like his eyes. There's no bad opinion, Crystal. Everybody, again, there's 461, 508, 1,000 earlier. Everybody has their own. It's so crazy that I don't think anybody agrees. We might agree, for example. I got to lower his because it's going in my ear. We all might agree that, say, for an example, it's Tommaso. But let's say 50 of us agree Tommaso. All 50 of us might think, okay, but it's Tommaso, but it's not the wife. It's Tommaso alone. Or it's Tommaso and a friend. It's Tommaso and a student. You see how I mean? It's the whole family. Oh, it's not the whole family. You know, he's in Mexico. He's not in Mexico. The Bitcoins are real. The Bitcoins are not real. I would assume it. How many people in this chat, be real? How many people think that these ransom notes are real? I mean, how many? It's all BS. And I'm not saying TMZ's making it up. What I'm saying is they're just writing some bullshit. It's all made up. They have no intention of getting $6 million. It's all bullshit. And again, let me just say this again for YouTube. I'm not saying that TMZ's making it up, 100% true, or the news. I'm saying it's all bullshit. They had no intention of having a body. There's no body. They don't have anybody kidnapped. Nancy's not kidnapped. Never was. Never was. Street people, drug cartels, mob would do that. and you would have it would be sent out to the immediate family, and you would want the money in 12 hours or less. You got 12 hours and it's ticking. This isn't a movie. That's how it works. It doesn't go on for days. It doesn't go to news channels. It's bullshit. They don't go to TMZ. They go to the house, to the person, the closest one. She didn't have a husband, so it goes to the daughter. It goes to the highest, the daughter who's Savannah, the one everybody knows. It would have went to her address. She would have opened it up, or she would have read it. And that's who it would have went to, not TMZ. Why the hell TMZ? And the only reason it went to TMZ is because of why? Why? Because a lot of people watch TMZ, right? I don't. No disrespect. I wish Harvey the best. I don't have time to watch it. I came out wrong. But a lot of people watch TMZ. A lot of youth watch TMZ. A lot of people twit. So they figured if it goes to TMZ, boom, it'll get out there. And that's what it did. And they played us. That's exactly what happened in that case. JR still sitting in there. I think he's drinking a coffee. Great reporter, great guy. TMZ because it couldn't go to Annie's house. Wild goose chase, absolutely. Hey, I appreciate all the comments. Insurance scam life. Who's that? Paula. Paula. Yeah, I've heard that a couple of times. Love that name. I love certain names. That's a beautiful name. Insurance scam life. It could be Red Bull too. It could be sugar-free Red Bull, or it could be regular Red Bull. I can't drink Red Bulls. This is where my wife gets upset. Stick to the subject. Get off the Red Bull. She's right. No, just kidding. It's that time, guys. Please give your opinion on TMZ reporting about CK Skull reporters sharing. I want to get into that right now. I want to try to kind of stick to the topic. In my past, I would get off topic sometimes, and I think that's an error I made, and I'll call myself out sometimes. Seriously, I have no problem calling myself out. Sometimes I do these lives, and I go over the place. So I try to learn. I'm learning. I'm still learning. Heavy hook. I'm learning. But yeah. I like Celsius, by the way, or coffee. All right, enough with the caffeine. Look at her grands. Look at who? Look at her. Oh, yeah. Hey, I want to stop for a second and say hi to Dina. Dina, 67. How are you, Dina? Oh, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? I just want to say hi. Did I scare you? All right. Let's see here. I'll read a few more. Oh, no. You don't have to apologize. I just don't want to get off the subject. Savannah's husband is a Democrat, or Democracy campaigns. Yeah. Sally, how you doing, Sally? Who are you? Oh, me? Nobody. Yeah. All right. Kind of funny, huh? Kind of funny here. Praying for the family. Absolutely. Great comment. Silver, how are you? Raquel. Good to see you guys. Thank you. Thank you for all of you for your support. Are you ice? Are you ice? No, I'm not. No ice. No ice for me. So, I mean, no ice is, I'm not ice. He's still sitting there drinking something, waiting patiently. What about the sheriff being dismissed? I don't think he's been dismissed yet. Yeah, he might be. No, I'm not. All right. No, I don't think he's been dismissed yet. He might be dismissed, though. He's messed up. In my opinion, he's messed up. Do you think that sheriff who's been following this case from day one think he did good stuff? Or he did, or am I just being hard? All right. Oh, he's out in the umbrella. He's out of the car. Hold on. When I say he,
So I don't know if you want to look in your messages and see if roadblock near Nancy's.
All right, so what are we doing? It's this. He obviously just gave it away. There's nothing going on here.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There's nothing because they would have let the local police know.
So you want to just put it into.
So you tell me what the next route is.
All right, so I guess they heard there's nothing going on. I wouldn't say, whoops, I'm sorry, shit. I wouldn't say there's nothing going on. I just think that we all expected the SWAT team to barricade. We all expected something the last hour or two. I would assume SWAT team will stay there for a while. I don't think they want all the media coverage there. But nonetheless, I told JR it's a wild goose chase. Oh, yeah? It's funny. Yeah. Man, well, young, 40s. He does a good job. I call it as it is, you know. But I think I disagree on him on this one, though. Maybe because I'm just optimistic. I don't think it's completely over tonight. I think the SWAT team is going to stay close by and monitor the situation. They're just not going to let everybody know what's going on. They just might sit there all night long and hope that they see somebody, right? By the way, in case you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, SWAT team was on a location about 26 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home that a lot of the reporters rushed to, and I rushed to come online and missed my clam sauce and spaghetti. Probably going to be divorced tonight over absolutely nothing at the moment. But I wouldn't say I was only kidding about the divorce, but I'll definitely get hear about this. But I was anxious to come on live with you guys and, you know, and hope that we could have seen something good happen or some closure. I didn't expect like them to find anybody, but I expected to find a location maybe that they were, and then we were going to go from there to there. That's what I was hoping for. Still can happen, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. They have not said what they went. They went on into the house. No. Haven't heard anything else about Carlos. No. Hey, thank you, new subscriber. Appreciate it. Raquel. Hey, appreciate all of you. All of you are new. You know, thank you so much for all your support, particularly following this case. You know, I got hooked on this case, you know, and we are praying. And I will say this to everybody that's on here real quick. There's 650. You know, I'm in the faith. I pray. Prayers are strong. But at the same time, we need to pinch ourselves and come to reality that's 13 days going to be 14 days tomorrow. And we got to, you know, we got to really think about what's going to really happen here. Now, it would be a great, it would be great for the whole world, the United States. We need this right now. If Nancy was found, you know, alive somewhere, I said there's a warehouse, somewhere, a home, and they just said, oh, here she is, give us the money. But we all know the chances of that are very slim, but not impossible, right? We talk about Elizabeth Smart. She was found months later, or was it years later? I forget. It's been long, guys. I can't remember all that. But so things can happen, but we also got to prepare ourselves. I know a lot of people, we're all different. We all have different minds and hearts and emotions. I just want to prepare everybody that, you know, there's a chance that they might not find the body for a while. And if they do, it might be unalive for YouTube. So just want to put that out there. I think at this point, the family's hoping for closure. I think they're going to bed and praying. They're into their faith. They, you know, they believe in God and all, and they're hoping for the best. And I think, but at the same time, I'm sure they're telling themselves that they got to prepare for the unthinkable, and that mama is not here with them or with us. But we'll keep it posted, guys. Miracles could happen, and that would be great. But one more time, as far as the sheriff, he's fumbled the ball too many times. I'm not saying he should be fired, but he's definitely might be coming close to retiring, because, and there's people that are working for him, and my sources are telling me, an FBI friend of mine here in Vegas, I'll make this very quick, that the people there are very young. And doesn't mean young's not qualified, but they're young, and it's a big turnover in Tucson, Arizona. And that tells me one thing. when there's a big turnover, it's not because the pay's not good. It's because the leadership there, when you have a big turnover, there's something going on with the leadership, with the sheriff, the deputies there, and it's a big turnover. I'm only telling you what I heard. How true it is, I don't know. He's a friend of mine. I believe a lot of things that he says is accurate. So that could be another reason why they fumbled the ball over and over and are losing a football game right now, like 41-0. I think of it as a sports. They are losing against the bad guys 41-0. They got a lot to make up right now. A lot. It's like 41-3 maybe. And if the SWAT is correct, I'll call it 41-10. And they still got a lot to go. And these people who did this were pros, smart, and 5 steps ahead. Now, on another topic, happy Valentine's to all the women on here. God bless you. Happy Valentine's to everybody. Make sure you take care of your wife and your husband too. They deserve it. Husbands deserve it. Or your partner. Take care of them. JLR still sitting in the car. He's hoping. He's ready. Subscribe to his channel. He does a fantastic job. He's there. I'm not there. If I would have went there, I'd be divorced because my wife says, are you kidding me? It's Valentine's Day. It's important for... Hey, guys, thank you so much for all your support, guys. I tell you what, I'm going to tune off here in about a minute. I'll give you guys a minute to say goodnight to each other. I know you guys been chatting among each other, which I love. So I'll give you the minute to say goodnight. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for subscribing. Like and share. Check out the homeless shorts. We help out the homeless. I would appreciate it. Not tonight, whenever you get a chance. Just take a look at some of the homeless. It helps the YouTube algorithm because at the end of the day, we're helping to support these people. And I got bigger and better things. Once again, shout out to Crystal and Mike and everybody else that's on here. We had Don't Peek on here earlier. Thank you for all the work you do. Heavy Hook. One day we'll meet up. We'll have a cigar together. Appreciate Mike and also Maribel and Glorabel and Palon and everybody on here who has been following this story, and we hope for the best. Hey, guys, I'm mumbling here, so that's the end of the live. Thank you so much. Hey, real quick, watch your notifications. And anything can happen. If something breaks and they find something, I might be half asleep with a hat on, with a cigar in my mouth in the back. I'll bring it to you. All right. Thank you, guys. Take care. God bless. Have a good night. Happy Valentine's Day.